Tonight, the entire volleyball world will be watching. It's a tournament-like atmosphere here in Worthen Arena with huge implications. It's the number 5 Brigham Young Cougars traveling to the volleyball capital of the world to take on the number 6 Ball State Cardinals. Good evening, folks. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by my partner, Sam Klug. And words can't really fit into just how great this atmosphere is tonight, and I'm glad you're here with me, buddy.
Yeah, it is electric here in Worthen Arena. We got the student section pretty filled. We got people standing. We got a cheer squad, people yelling. It's going to be a great night between two powerhouses in the men's volleyball world.
And I do want to talk about this Brigham Young team. 4-0 on the season. They brought in some great additions over the offseason like Keone Thim in the transfer portal. 4-0, including a clean sweep over Ohio State and a clean sweep over D2 St. Thomas Aquinas. Watching this Cougar team, what has been your biggest takeaway of them in these first 4 matches?
Well, my biggest takeaway so far is how dominant they've been. Ohio State, a common MIVA pest of the Ball State Cardinals, as we know too well, but they went in there and they dominated. Only losing 2 sets, obviously, they won 6 of them, but they didn't play them that close and were dominant overall. I mean, this team has showed that after kind of a lackluster year at 16-9, they have the ability to get back to that national title contender level.
And looking at Ball State, obviously very disappointing end to last year, losing in the MIVA quarterfinal against Lindenwood. They look to bounce back in a big way this year. They're 3-1 to start the year, beating Wabash and Trine at home, and then sweeping number 13 Stanford. But then the very next night, they get swept by number 13 Stanford. What was your biggest takeaway from that series?
Yeah, that series was an interesting one to say the least, because you don't usually see 2 ranked teams sweep each other. I will say, though, in the second game at least, I paid quite close attention, and a lot of the sets were super close, whether they are within 2 or 3 points or they went to what you call overtime in volleyball. In the final set in which they lost and ended the game, it was 30-28 as the final score. Stanford barely outlasted them, and they played them tight, so we'll see what they do versus another top 25 team.
And right now, you can tell the energy is at an unreal level here at Worthen Arena. Great crowd tonight, about as great as it can get as the lights are dimming for Ball State player introductions. And I want to ask you this about this Ball State team overall, and for both teams, I should say. Who are some impact players that you have your eye on tonight to make a big impact on probably the biggest game of the season so far?
So for the Cardinals, I have the transfer, Rajay Aline, coming over from Quincy, played in the MIVA. He knows a lot of the opponents Ball State plays, but also he's been hot to start off the year. He has 39 kills. That's about almost 4.5 per set. He's attacking 421, which is very impressive. Again, really anything above that 3 mark is super impressive. But he's come in here, he's got the starting job right away, and he's really improved this Ball State roster on the offensive side.
And for BYU, again, a team with a lot of new additions, a lot of new faces, and they are hot to start the year. Who, as a whole, has been a player that has really stood out to you in these first 4 matches and you expect to have a big night tonight?
I mean, it has to go to Keone Thim. I mean, the transfer from Hawaii, which Hawaii is always a perennial contender, kind of another capital of volleyball, you could say, maybe for the West Coast. He's been electric, doing it all for the Cougars. 61 kills, almost 4.5 per set as well, hitting 423. He also has 18 digs, and he's already played in 14 sets. This is a guy that does it all for the Cougars, and he's going to have maybe one of the better nights on their side.
Yeah, Keone Thim, like you mentioned, the transfer from Hawaii has made a huge impact on this BYU team so far. And as we're introducing the Ball State starting lineup, I got to ask you, for both teams, what are some keys to the match?
Well, when it comes to keys to the match, it's going to be, I wouldn't say simple for the Cougars, but what they need to do is be strong up front. The Cardinals, we know, are a strong blocking team. They block a lot of shots. They got tall players near the net. And when that ball is coming down at you, you're going to need to be ready to either dig it out, receive it, and set up back for your offense, whether that's going to Keone Thim or another guy. For the Cardinals, they need to know that the Cougars are known for serving aces. Now, the Cardinals haven't struggled too much with service errors, but that doesn't mean tonight they can, as the Cougars, we know, they lead the nation in assists per set, and they're number 2 in assists overall. So this is a team that when they get back there on those letters that say Ball State, they're going to be ready to put their best effort forward.
And the Cardinals getting ready for the biggest matchup of the season thus far. And the fact that we are getting a postseason preview, maybe, the fact that we're getting this in January, it's wild to me, Sam.
It is insane. I mean, two amazing conferences going at it too in the MIVA and the MPSF. Both teams have won their conference quite recently, and both teams are constantly in contention for a national championship. A couple years ago in 2022, it makes it 3 years ago now, Ball State were the runner-ups. BYU also has a few national titles to their name. Maybe they were earlier in the 2000s, but still, teams that know how to get it done in the postseason and have a history of it.
And you mentioned that Cardinals team being eliminated in the Final Four to Hawaii. Guess who was on that Hawaii team? Keone Thim. You know it. And we are just about ready for first serve here in Worthen Arena. And I think you all know the drill by now. Nobody sits for the opening serve, and that includes you, Sam. I see you, you're getting up. I see it. You're getting ready.
We're ready. Everybody's standing here, trying to get people excited. This is MIVA and MPS volleyball at its finest.
This is the reason why we love this sport. This is the reason why we love this game. Everybody on their feet. Ball State wearing the white uniforms. The libero and Lucas Pitlack wearing the black uniforms with the red lettering. And for BYU, wearing their black uniforms with blue lettering. The libero and Jackson Fife wearing a blue jersey with white lettering. And Ball State getting ready for the first serve. And an interesting point, too, is so far on the year, neither team has gone to 5 sets, and that can very well happen tonight. Cardinals getting ready to get started here at Worthen Arena. And Keone Thim will be serving it up for the opening serve here on the right side. BYU on the right side, Ball State on the left.
Crowd getting into it.
You know it. Keone Thim right to left serves it up. Pitlack recovers it. Machado sets up for Patrick Rogers. The tap and gets it to fall. 1-0 Cardinals early.
Hey, simple is better. He saw 2 middle blockers jumping up, pushed it right off to the right side. Easy point for the Cardinals to start it off.
Yeah, and that just shows the overall technique and experience of Patrick Rogers. We'll get into it later, what he was doing over the offseason in the beach volleyball Olympics. Rogers does serve it up, though. Thim digs it out. Hain, the setup on the near side. Benson gets it set back by Rajay, and what a dig by Machado. Machado, though, so he sets up for T and gets it down past Fife.
Man, team chemistry right there. Machado, an amazing dig. And then when you know Mr. T has the ball in his sight, there's not much you can do.
Tinashe and Davasocheva makes it 2-0 Cardinals here in set 1 already. Patrick Rogers sends it over to BYU's end, and it goes too long. That'll be an error. Now 2-1. BYU cuts the lead in half early.
Yeah, Rogers, that is his 13th service error on the season. Not what you want to see from one of your better players, but something he might need to clean up.
Now it's Tion Taylor, the reigning MPSF Defensive Player of the Week. Sent back over by Hales, goes out of bounds on the far side, but last touch by Ndavazocheva. So we're tied at 2 now in the first set after Ball State opened with a 2-0 lead.
Looked like a ton of momentum was on their side. Crowd was getting into it, especially the students. Quick 2 points, put the Cougars right back in it.
Taylor back with it on the near side, serving right to left. It's Ndavazocheva to set it up. He taps it over. Thim digs it out. Noah Hain this set, back to Jonathan Tafuga. Machado on the reception. Rajay Aline the other end. Noah Hain digs it out. Keone Thim goes back behind. Benson blocked up front by T. Patrick Rogers in front goes too long. BYU on a 3-0 run as they get the point. 3-2, they lead in the first set.
Yep, all Ball State needs to do, slow it down, clean up those errors, especially on the offensive side. BYU is on a 3-0 run, but nothing can stop this offense in due time.
Tion Taylor over to Mr. T himself. And back in, Vanis Buckholes ties it back up for the Cardinals just past the attacking line, 3-3. And Jordan Climbs and Dominic Liacani on the ESPN call. They were on a call with Sean Olmstead, head coach of BYU. And Coach Olmstead, he was commenting on Vanis Buckholz's mullet, saying he had a killer mullet. Unfortunately, he did cut it the other day. Haynes sets up on the near side for Benson, dug up by Rogers. He leads the team in digs. Aline on the other side. Back to Buckholz. Machado has to give it over to Rajay, and it just gets saved by Luke Benson back over to the Cardinals' direction. It gets past Savitsky Lind, and it goes to BYU. It looks like Savitsky Lind was going up top for it and just missed the mark. 4-3 BYU.
Miscommunication there between the setter and the attacker, but hey, that happens in volleyball. Didn't necessarily have the kill there, but they need to get a point back here.
Talon Jonathan Tafuga, he's been gone the last 3 years on a mission trip. You see that quite often with this BYU team, even with head coach Sean Olmstead when he played here. BYU with it, Machado tapped over by Rogers. Hayne over Thim, gets sent back by T, but it goes out of bounds on the far side, so BYU does end up getting the point, 5-3, but Keone Thim and Davazocheva meeting at the net. What a matchup.
Wow, superstars in the air, to say the least. Kind of like what you see in Marvel in DC. One thing about Keone Thim is, boy, is he athletic. His feet were almost at the top of the net. That's how athletic this guy is, and he's not the tallest in the world. You know, he's only 6 foot.
Jonathan Tafuga serves it up, goes too long. Cardinals get the point. They cut it down to 1. Keone Thim, I was actually watching some of his social media content. You can call him a social media megastar, perhaps. 39,000 followers. And he said he could bench 318. I don't believe that.
Athletic and strong, if that is indeed true.
Very strong. Rajay Aline goes across Thim with the dig. Hayne Hales gets it sent back by Savitsky Lind, but it ricochets off of the net. They give the point to BYU. 6-4 Cougars in the first set.
I don't know if it was an interference call or just
touch the net.
Touch the net, yep, on the Cardinals. So more errors. They might need to start cleaning up a little bit more. They seem to be a little shaky at the start here.
Luke Benson on the serve. What a great year he's had. Second on the team in kills. Machado sends it back over. Noah Hayne, diving effort by Rogers. Aline on the other end, ricochets off the net and gets it to fall on the attack line. The Cardinals cut it down to 1, 5-6. Rajay Aline already making his mark on this one.
I believe that is his 40th kill in the early season so far. I mean, you can't ask for much more. And you see that little fake there? He sent it a different direction than when his body was going. Great play.
Tinashe and Davazocheva serves it over for BYU, or Jonathan Tafuga digs it up, goes just on the back line, sneaks it in. Cougars get the kill, 7-5. Nico Hales will serve over for the Cougars. Nico Hales, a freshman, and the fact that he's starting on this BYU team as a freshman is insane. Hales sends it over, collected by Patrick Rogers. Machado off of the setup, and Rogers gets it down with the hammer. 7-6, Cardinals back in fourth with BYU. And the interesting thing about Hales, though, he's going to be gone after this year. He's going on a 2-year mission trip.
I wonder how that will affect his volleyball game. Like you said, you see missions a lot with this school as they're associated with the Mormon church, but only as a freshman. Hopefully he still has time to practice his volleyball skills.
Hayne Thim with the tap in, just sneaks in on the near side. Keone Thim with his first kill of the day, 8-6 Cardinals, and now they're overturning it, it looks like, and they're going to give it to the Cardinals. We're tied at 7. Wow.
I don't know how much more you can get to that baseline. Looks like the center judge did not call it. Looks like the line judge may have, and I think that was a good overturn.
Yep, we're going to have a review, it looks like, and live in action, I couldn't tell. I honestly could not tell. I was just waiting for that official signal, but Keone Thim, if that does stand as a kill, that would be his 62nd on the season. And the fact that we're only 4 matches in, that's just wild to me.
It is indeed. He's, like you said, tons of kills so far, attacking 423 on the season. I mean, you have to look out for this guy when you send it back over and they set it for offense.
And for Keone Thim now, and for this BYU team as a whole, first set and it's under 10 points, you might not be thinking that this means a lot, but in a matchup like this, every point matters. That's
right. I'm going to go back and touch on what I said about the Stanford match and just how close those sets were between the Cardinals and Stanford. Just a few points, and like you said, points matter. Every point matters.
And the call stands. BYU does get the point. It'll be 8-6. Keone Thim does get credited with the kill. Just smart volleyball on his end to tap that over where nobody was standing on that near side for BYU, or Ball State, I should say.
It was close, but stays with the Cougars as a point.
Noah Hain, the setter, serves it over. Machado, the setup for Rajay. Aline just gets past him and gets down on the back line. Cardinals cut it back to 1.
You saw the opening there when he jumped in there. We had a perfect angle of it. He saw it. The setter actually went behind him too, kind of blocking the defense's view. Almost like when you screen a goalie in hockey, you couldn't really see where the attacker was coming from. A perfectly drawn up play for the Cardinals.
Machado to serve for Ball State, and Jonathan Tafuga unable to collect. Cardinals tie it up at 8.
Man, that, I wouldn't say it was even lucky. That had crazy spin on it, went off the receiver's hand. What a great point by the Cardinals.
And it'll be Lucas Machado yet again. 8-8 our score. Back over to Jonathan Tafuga. He's able to get it cleanly. Thim gets sent back by T, and it goes out of bounds on the back line. So BYU gets the point, 9-8. Ball State has not led since they were up 2-0 earlier in this first set.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to get back in it. Whenever they get close, it's kind of like my Chicago Bulls. You know, you get close to that 500 area, and then you just keep losing games or losing points in this case, and can't get above 500 or break the tie.
Keone Thim on the serve. He's got 10 aces on the year. Pitlack sends it over to Aline. He free balls it on the other side. The touch up, near side. Benson set back by Rogers. Ball State with the point. 9-9, we're knotted up.
Rogers saw that coming, jumped perfectly straight up, sent it right down. It looked like it was almost going out of bounds, but Patrick Rogers played that block perfectly as an opposite hitter. What a play by number 20, excuse me.
9-9, Rogers with the serve across. Thim gets it. Hain back to Thim, and it just barely misses the net. Ball State gets their first lead since they were up 2-0 earlier. It's 10-9 here in the first set.
Man, when we mentioned in the pregame that Ball State was a good blocking team, we truly meant it. And if you were here in person, you could see those two blocks were ferocious.
Now Rogers sends it across left to right. Fife with the dig. What a great play by the libero. Luke Benson the other way. Pitlack sends it high into the crowd. That's a point for BYU. On the near side, Rajay Aline and Lucas Machado both going over to the scorer's table.
Yeah, great dig there by Fife. Gave his team a chance to what turned into a point. Talk about the hit over, though, by BYU. I don't exactly remember who it was, but the power. And then dug out by Pitlock, but too much.
Tion Taylor the other way around to Ball State. Machado serves it up for T, and Thim with the diving effort to receive it back for BYU. Luke Benson with the tap, sent back by Aline. Cougars with it. Thim, the high flying kill. 11-10 BYU now in the first set.
Man, he is so crazy good at those kills. He comes right up the middle of the floor, something you don't see as often. Usually you see your attackers from right or left angles. He comes right up the middle of the floor, doesn't care who's going to try and block him, and sends it home.
Taylor the other way. Machado the other way to Aline on the near side. Taps it over. Benson recovers. Jonathan Tafuga spikes it just to Rogers, and they give the point to BYU. Went out of play off of Rogers on the far side, so now it's 12-10 BYU here in set 1.
Yeah, last couple of the few points BYU has scored, you've noticed guys in the back row who maybe aren't as used to digging it out have to do that, and they haven't succeeded.
Rogers, Machado, T sent back, and Rogers gets it back. Aline, and it's blocked by Luke Benson at the net. 13-10, BYU going on a bit of a run.
Yeah, how about the blocking so far by BYU in these last 3 points? It was tied 10-10. I think they're on a 3-0 run of straight blocks off attacking attempts by the Cardinals.
And that'll take us into a quick timeout. Here in the first set, BYU leads 13-10 over Ball State. We'll be right back. You are listening to SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, Papergo toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go.
Welcome back from Worthen Arena. The Ball State Cardinals trail 10-13 here in set one to the BYU Cougars. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Sam Klug. And out of the timeout, Ball State, they're allowing a big run by BYU. How do they bounce back?
They bounce back by really cleaning up their attacking. They've gotten blocked, I think, the last 3 possessions, but also they need to improve their digging. They haven't gotten many returns back.
Machado sets up for Buckholz, and did it get down? No, just out of bounds on the far side. Point goes to the Cougars. What a run they're on, 5-0 after they trailed 10-9, and now it's 14-10.
That's right, you give them your first lead, and they're like, oh, not so fast. 5-0 run, total dominance.
Tion Taylor the other way to Patrick Rogers. Machado sets up for Mr. T, recovered by Thim. Haynes sets it up for Jonathan Tafuga, just gets past Pitlock and sneaks in on the back line. So BYU, what a run they're on, 6-0, 15-10 they lead.
That's right. I mean, we didn't really see anything in the first half of this first set. I mean, it was very neck and neck within a few points, and they've come out blazing off the timeout.
Patrick Rogers on the reception from Taylor. Rajay Aline gets past them for the kill.
That's a huge momentum boost right there by the Cardinals. And, you know, you go on an 0-6 run in their case, and it seems like nothing's working, like in basketball. But getting that and getting through and seeming like points are possible is huge for team morale.
Vanis Buckholz sporting a new haircut. He serves it over. Near side, Luke Benson, it gets down with the hammer. What an effort by the senior Luke Benson and kill for BYU to make it 16-11.
Yeah, the 6'7" senior from Newbury Park, California is so fast. That kill, you couldn't even see it if you blinked.
Talon Jonathan Tafuga, they go right to left with the Ball State student section behind him. Goes over Pitlock, dives to get it. Machado on the near side to Aline, blocked over and tapped back in by Savitsky Lind. Cardinals getting a little bit of momentum back on their favor. They trail 12-16.
What a play there by Savitsky Lind. He saw the opening after it was blocked on Aline's attack, and he saw it, poked it right down, easy point.
Rajay Aline for Ball State, the Quincy transfer. First in the MIVA last year in kills per set, serves it over. Jackson Fife to Libero first, then Nico Hales recovered by Pitlack, and Mr. T the other way to BYU. Thim spikes it too long. Cardinals get the point, 13-16.
The decision making there right by the Cardinals, you see Thim coming up and ready to hit it, you're gonna think it's most likely gonna be in bounds. They saw it was a little longer, held off on it, and they get it out of bounds. Hey, that's a point. Great decision making and a great eye like you're a baseball player from the Cardinal defense.
Rajay Aline will serve it up yet again for Ball State as they trail by 3 here in the first set. Goes too long, and BYU with the point, but now they're saying, wait, they're going to say it goes to Ball State. They go back on that. 14-16, Rajay Aline just sneaking it in on the back line. Wow.
Wow, that's his 3rd ace of the year and another overturned call. Maybe something we'll see of more. And they cut it within 2, 16-14. Cougars still on top, but a great ace there by Aline.
And right now, as we head into a 1-minute break, I do want to ask you, so far in a very tight and very neck-and-neck battle that's been back and forth, what has been your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway is how well BYU has blocked. And it doesn't just come like they're targeting one player. They have blocked Tinashe Ndazavocheva and Rajay Aline very well. Now, Aline did just get back-to-back points, but even before that, they have been blocking extremely well. Like we said, they went on that 5-6-0 run where every attack chance by the Cardinals was blocked by the BYU front row, and they've played much better, at least the front row has, than I expected coming into this highly contested game.
And you know, I kind of find it funny how we went into this matchup and we were saying, hey, Ball State is the really good blocking team. And that's not to say they aren't, but look at what BYU is doing today.
That's right. And going back to like what you said, it's not like they haven't been blocking. I would say they've been doing okay up there. But BYU, like we said, is known as a serving team. They get a lot of aces. And maybe BSU struggles with errors, but they have totally turned the table and blocked.
After the review, it stands. Ball State gets the call. And Jonathan Tafuga, again, unable to collect it, tried to dive for it, and another ace for Rajay Aline. Ball State cuts it to 1.
He's up to 11 on the season. Again, another impactful transfer from a fellow Neva school in Quincy.
Aline the other way. Goes across, doesn't get the third ace in a row. Jonathan Tafuga with the spike and blocked by Indava Socheva. Cardinals on a run. We are tied at 16.
I think we spoke a good announcer's jinx right there. It is totally flipped. Cardinals are getting service aces, blocking on the front row as well. What more could you ask for from a volleyball team?
And yet again, it will be Rajay Aline to serve it up. He's got 2 aces on the day. Goes across, Fife digs it up. Hain sets up on the near side for Luke Benson, and it sneaks down. BYU ends that Ball State run, and they take the lead back at 17-16 here in set 1.
Yeah, Benson's closing in on his 60th kill of the season. I believe that is number 59. Yes, that is number 59 on the year. Another athletic attacker. He's hitting .464 on the season so far.
Benson on the serve. Rogers, the diving effort. Aline with the spike, and it just gets past the front row for the Ball State point. We're tied at 17.
What I loved about that play right there by Aline, he jumped up, saw the kill wasn't there immediately, kind of started to fall out of the sky after his jump. Then he hit it and attacked once their blockers were jumping down as well, and turned out to be another point for the Cardinals.
Indava Zocheva with 5 service aces on the year sends it across. Near side, Thim gets past Aline on the back row. BYU takes the lead back 18-17. And this is about as back and forth as it can get. But look at this. For the first time this season, checking in, Ian Little for the Cougars. He's going in for Nico Hales. And they do have one thing in common. Both have gone on mission trips or are about to. Nico Hales, he's about to embark on a 2-year mission trip. Ian Little, he missed 2 years due to a mission trip, and now he is back with the Cougars, and he will serve it up as they lead 18-17. Left-handed serve, and Zocheva to Machado. The third touch from Rogers with the tapping in. Cardinals tied at 18.
Look at that touch. Soft touch over both of the blockers. They were expecting a spike. No, Rogers just touched it right over, and boom.
And Nico Hales comes back in for Ian Little. I think that was just for the serve, kind of how the Cardinals use Xander Pink in a way.
That's right, we might see that a little bit later tonight.
Braden Savitsky-Lind sends it across for Ball State left to right. Jonathan Tafuga sends it. Tion Taylor off of Indava Zocheva, and the point for the Cougars. And they are back out in front 19-18.
This set, the way it's progressing and looking, it looks like it could go to like 40 points the way it's back and forth.
That's what I was thinking. Great minds think alike, Sam. Noah Hain, the setter for BYU. Patrick Rogers collects. And Buckholz gets it set back, but out of bounds on the far side. So Ball State, they tie it up at 19.
That's right. Again, BYU getting up there, blocking well, but also BSU kind of used that to their advantage. They saw they blocked it, maybe too strong of a block, and it goes out of bounds.
Machado, the sophomore from Brazil, serves it for Ball State, and they give the point to the Cardinals on the back line. That's an ace for Lucas Machado, 20-19 Cardinals.
His 7th ace on the year, and that's the first lead in a while. The Cardinals 5 points away from taking this set.
Machado the other way. This time the Cougars are able to cleanly collect it. And the block from Vanis Buckholz. Ball State with the point, 21-19. And for the first time since they held a 2-0 lead, they have a 2-point lead in the first period. Wow.
Everybody is on their feet here, especially the student section. It's getting crazy as a timeout was just called. Man, did we expect this from the Cardinals going neck and neck, not being able to get the lead? Not really, but man, they've come out. Their blocking has improved immensely.
And the thing is, if you've been paying attention to men's volleyball really for the last couple of years, and you saw this score right now, you would not be surprised at all. But the fact of the matter is, both of these teams have gone on long runs, and the momentum hasn't lasted long for either team.
No, and I think Ball State also has the home court factor in effect too. They know that if they can get some advantage, it's going to last and not wear off as soon, considering they're the home team, and we have a very good crowd on hand here at Worthen Arena. And that's something, obviously, Muncie and Ball State as a whole is known for, is volleyball. They claim to be the volleyball capital of the world, and it's proving with this great crowd on hand.
And look, I've never been to Provo, Utah, so I don't know. And they have a great atmosphere, but it's pretty hard to top Worthen Arena tonight. 21-19, Ball State out in front. Lucas Machado, who had a service ace earlier, will look to do it again. He serves it up for the Cardinals, left to right. Again, only in set one. We are just getting started, folks. How about that?
That's one thing about Machado. He does a lot for the Cardinals, too. He has 6 blocks on the season and 113 assists.
Yeah, with Machado being the setter, that versatility is helpful, and there's an error. It doesn't reach the net. BYU cuts it to 21-20.
Number 9 on the season for him, and I touched on it a little bit in the pregame show, but service errors are something they need to clean up with how good BYU can serve.
Keone Thim, a deep breath. He's got 10 aces on the year for himself. Goes across, Rogers on his knees to get it. Aline with the tap, and Thim the diving effort for the dig. Another diving effort for Jonathan Tafuga, and tapped over by Thim. Machado the set for Buckholes. Thim recovers. Near side, Luke Benson for BYU. And tee over, Patrick Rogers over the scorer's table into the crowd. Point goes to BYU, unable to save it, but Patrick Rogers going over LJ Shreve, Dom Liakani, and Jordan Climbs. Wow.
Man, look out at the scorer's table. There was Patrick Rogers flying over a couple people. I think he knocked something over too. Hope everybody down there is okay. There's gonna be a timeout as we're tied, but how about that volley? I mean, talk about BYU digging out a couple times, then over here. Ball State also a couple digs, almost saved one that eventually went into the stands, but just the athleticism of both these teams is very impressive.
We are tied at 21 here in set one. And yeah, I mean, LJ, I was talking to him. He's on the ESPN broadcast today. He is the stage manager for Dom Liakani and Jordan Climbs, and he was just saying, hey, I mean, I'm going to do my part, and that he has, and that's not getting knocked out by Patrick Rogers.
That's right. I mean, being down there in any sport is very scary. Basketball, volleyball, even gymnastics can get pretty scary, but you got to be alert. I know in warm-ups at times I've gotten knocked in the head by a volleyball or two before,
yeah.
So that's never fun.
But man, hopefully Patrick is all right, and the fans in the front row on that near side, they got a treat.
They did indeed. I mean, seeing any athlete in action, especially like that, is super cool. And I know our production crew who are filming for Setting the Standard Season 2 definitely got a good shot of that.
Yeah, definitely. Episode 1 is out now. You can check it out on Ball State SportsLink's Instagram or YouTube page. And man, what a series it is, and it will follow Ball State men's volleyball throughout the season. But Keone Thim will serve it up for BYU. We're knotted up at 21 here in set 1. He goes right to left. Puts a little spin on it and sends it across. Goes far too long, a rare mistake for Keone Thim, and Ball State gets the point.
Rare indeed. I mean, on the season, Keone he has 17 service aces, but from a guy who's serving often like that, you don't really expect it. Maybe too much spin that time.
Patrick Rogers the other way, and that time it goes too long. Back-to-back service errors, and we're tied at 22.
Wow. Like I said, if you clean up your service aces, you're really going to get ahead. Either team, really. But BYU serving a lot, and if it's for Ball State, you're not going to have the the fact that BYU is a very good serving team.
Rogers collects off of the serve, back over to Aline, the tap, and it gets down. Rajay Aline gives the Cardinals a 23-22 lead.
I mean, someone who's not as used to volleyball as maybe some other fans might be like, how is Aline getting all these points on not these mighty serves where he's whacking the ball really hard? He is really prioritizing his soft touches over the net, really confusing the BYU defense. And obviously you have Mr. T, who's always flying high in the air, spiking it as hard as he can, but Aline has been super impressive with how soft his touch is and how he can place it in certain spots.
Will Basilio into the game for the first time, serves it up for Ball State, and Indava Zocheva back over with the tap for Ball State. They lead by 2, and this is match point here in the first set. Everybody on their feet in Worthen.
Everybody's hands going up and down. This is super important. Great play by Mr. T right there. This would be a huge first get as Basilio is back to serve it.
Basilio, his parents drove all the way from Ontario to be here, and that's a service error, 24-23. But yeah, he is from Canada. Big accomplishments there. 2-time Canadian Club National Champion, 2024 National MVP. His parents all the way from Ontario driving to Muncie. 24-23, Jonathan Tafuga for the Cougars. Ball State can still win the set here. Cardinals with 3 at the attack line and 3 back. Tafuga the other way, Rogers collects it cleanly. Aline the other way, blocked, but Machado gets it back. Pitlock, the setup. Indava Zocheva gets down. Ball State 1, BYU nothing.
What a way to close out set 1. Like we said, within 2 points, these two teams going point for point. And what a play by Mr. T right there. Sends it backward, had 3 of the front row people all bunched in one corner, sent it backward. They get the first set, and I think that sets the tone for a lot of the rest of the game. And Tinashe really proved that that was beneficial.
And man, Sam, if that set 1 was anything like set 2, we are in for a treat tonight. And that's going to take us into a break. We will be right back. You're listening to SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least 1 Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
Welcome back from Worthen Arena. The Ball State Cardinals lead 1-0 over BYU as we head into set number 2. And what a back and forth set. Ball State wins set 1, 25-23. And the kill to end it on match point came from, guess who? Tinashe Indava Zocheva. Sam, what a wild set 1 from both teams. How can both teams kind of run away with it here in the second set, if you really can do that?
I really think one way Ball State could is mixing up the ways they attack the Cougars, especially when it comes to trying to get those kills or spiking the ball, whether it's some soft touches, a mix of medium placed and further placed attacks. You saw at the end and maybe the second half of that last set, they got a lot of the points and got back into the set by doing that. I think for BYU, it's going back to those times where they blocked super well in the first set. I mean, a lot of the times I said, I didn't think they were going to block this well, but they have, and they've really showed that they can be a good blocking team. And when you're blocking well against Ball State, that's an achievement. You can take that back and be like, okay, we played well here, and I know we're capable of that. And that's something I think they can look back and improve on for later down in the season.
It'll be Lucas Machado to serve it across for Ball State again. With a new set means new benches going from left to right now. Ball State, they'll serve right to left. And right now, man, what a crazy first set we had. And I'm just hoping, as a volleyball fan in general, being completely objective, I am just hoping that that first set is able to be replicated here in set 2.
That's right, and the Cardinals are coming off 2 games where, although, again, like I said, they're both sweeps, lots of those sets were like that. Close, within 2-3 points, but also BYU hasn't faced a lot of that. I mean, they played Ohio State twice. Ohio State only won 1 set per match, and then they swept St. Thomas Aquinas, and might not be as used to that as Ball State is.
Luke Benson on the reception. Hain over to Jonathan Tafuga, collected by T. And what a diving effort by Machado, but he goes underneath the net. You cannot do that. BYU gets the point to start off set 2.
Yeah, I mean, he had tons of effort right there, sliding for the ball, and sometimes lots of effort goes back to hurt you, and it did in that case.
Keone Thim to serve it up. Shockingly, no aces so far in set 1 here into set 2. He does have a service error, though. Keone Thim the other way. Does it go too long? It sure does. Point to Ball State. Back-to-back errors for Thim. 1 and 1 were knotted up.
Wow, something we didn't expect to see and don't usually see from Keone is those service errors. He's already got 2 of them, I believe, on the game, so something to keep an eye on.
Patrick Rogers the other way. Back-to-back errors. BYU gets the point. Ricochets off the front of the net. 2-1 BYU.
Yeah, another service error, and I said for the Cardinals, you have to clean that up in order. But maybe I should start saying that to BYU now, too.
Tion Taylor, Rogers dives to get it, and Buckholz gets it sent back by Nico Hales. BYU with the point, the block at the net, 3-1 Cougars.
Yeah, they started pretty hot this set so far. Already got a 2-point lead, and we saw last match, the number 2 difference usually holds firm.
Taylor the other way, Rogers sets up, now Machado, now Aline with the spike. Rajay Aline on the attack. Cardinals cut it to 1.
Man, that ball went a good 7 rows up in the stands after he spiked it. Just pure strength from Aline. I mean, he saw the open slot, and he didn't hold back.
Unfortunately, the fan will be unable to keep that souvenir. Buckholz the other way on the serve. Haynes sets up Nico Hales the other way, dug up by Buckholz. T on the tap and collected by Jonathan Tafuga. Fife, Benson, Machado keeps it going for Ball State. Rajay Aline on the far side, blocked by 3 Cougars. Patrick Rogers gets it back for Ball State, and his kill attempt just goes short of the net. So BYU now lead 4-2.
Yeah, great attempt there by Rogers. Not the best, but also on the BYU side, they didn't attack very well. A lot of their attacks were easily dug out by the Cardinals, and they kind of got lucky there in the end that Rogers didn't make good contact.
Talon Jonathan Tafuga from Long Beach, California, goes across. That'll be an error. Ball State 3-4, well short of the net that time.
Yeah, he already has 13 service errors coming into this game. I believe that is his second on the game, so that means 15 on the year.
Rajay Aline, this guy, the contrary, he has 2 aces on the day. He serves it up for Ball State, and just as I say that, goes too long. BYU gets the point.
Announcer's jinx is in full effect up here in the booth of SL Digital.
I apologize, Rajay. Hopefully he forgives me. Luke Benson the other way for the Cougars, the senior sensation, and that time it just goes out of play on the back line, and Ball State, they get the point. A lot of mistakes for both teams in this second set.
That's right. I mean, you had Thim had a service error, then Rogers into the net, and now back-to-back service errors by both teams. Took 4 in a row.
Indava Zocheva the other way for Ball State. Luke Benson pops it up for Noah Hain. The setup for Keone Thim, blocked by Machado. BYU gets it back. Another setup for Thim, blocked by the Cardinals, out of bounds on the far side. Point Cougars.
Great blocking attempts there by the Cardinals didn't go their way. They stood tall there, but the Cougars can realize the harder you hit it into the block, the more likely it's going to go out, and they got the advantage of that.
6-4 they lead here in set 2. Ball State a 1-0 lead on the day. Set up for Machado. Savitsky wind. Ricochets off of Benson into the crowd behind them. Ball State cuts it down to 1, 6-5 here in set 2.
We must have some special air here in Worthen Arena. These balls going everywhere.
They sure are. A lot of fans getting souvenirs here today. Braden Savitsky wind serves it up for Ball State. Luke Benson has to slide to get it. Keone Thim on the tap, set back by Machado. Point, Cardinals were knotted up at 6.
Another error there by Keone Thim. Now, I still think he's one of the best players on this team, but I wouldn't say he's had his strongest game in this set, especially so far. A couple of errors, not playing the best on the attack side, but we'll see what he can do.
Savitsky wind yet to get an ace on the year. He does have 7 blocks, though. Luke Benson pops it up for Noah Hain, and the tap from Taylor collected by Buckholz, but just juggles it out, and BYU gets the point, and they take the lead 7-6 here in set 2. Again, Ball State a 1-0 lead on the day.
That's right. I mean, right there, it looked like there was a little miscommunication between the setter and the offense for BYU, but it actually worked out in their favor, as there was also a miscommunication on the defensive side.
Noah Hain, Rogers on his knees to get it. Rajay Aline climbs the ladder. Does it get down? No, it just goes out of play. BYU takes an 8-6 advantage.
Man, lots of close calls so far in this game. I will say I believe the officials have done very good so far, but man, they've had to make some close calls, whether that's on the line on serves or kills like that.
Noah Hain to serve it up for the Cougars, and Davazocheva collects. Rogers, the hard spike, and ricocheted off of Luke Benson on the far side, so Ball State cuts it down to 1 here in set 2.
Cardinals trying to tie it back up, trying to get their first lead in this set, something they struggled to do in the first set as well.
Lucas Machado serves it over. Hain sets it up for Jonathan Tafuga, collected by Machado. Pitlock with the setup, and Aline with the kill. Ball State ties it up at 8.
2-0 run, and what did I say about momentum earlier? Crowd getting into it. We got some terrible towel sightings. Man, what an exciting night to be at Worthen Arena.
Well, red terrible towels, right?
That's right.
There we go, there we go. That's more like it. Machado the other way, right to left, he serves. Luke Benson, now Hain, now Benson again. The hard attack just gets it in on the back line. BYU gets their lead back.
Yeah, they saw that momentum, and again, they killed it with one swing of the hand. I mean, great play, great kill. This is something they need to build off of.
Keone Thim for BYU now. The transfer from Hawaii serves it up. Yet to get an ace on the day, but he has 10 going into this matchup. Machado serves over for T, and it just sneaks in for Ball State. And Davazocheva with the kill to tie us up at 9 here in set 2.
That's huge for Mr. T, a.k.a. Tinashe. I mean, he comes into the day with 9 kills, which you'd expect more from the star player for Ball State, but just a slow start to the season, that's all.
Patrick Rogers to serve, ricochets off of the net, but nonetheless, BYU keeps it going. Luke Benson, the tap, rejected by Aline. Cougars get it back. Benson climbs the ladder and just gets it to fall on that far side. So now the Cougars, again, they hit back even harder, 10-9.
That's right. I mean, Ball State only had one guy in the back row on that left side. BYU saw it, took advantage.
Tion Taylor on the serve. Rogers sets up for Machado, near side. Davazocheva gets it sent back by Nico Hales, and they're going to give that to BYU. 11-9 our score. Ball State 1-0 on the day. We're in set 2.
Yeah, Pitlock, not the best play right there. I would count that as a receiving error. Kind of just misjudged the angle of the ball when it was coming down.
Machado sets up for Davazocheva, sneaks in on the far side. He bounces back. 10-11 BYU, still out in front.
Talk about Tinashe. He's got 5 kills already in this game to go, along with his 9. Actually, yes, 5. So now he's got 14 on the season so far.
Buckholz the other way for Ball State. Noah Haynes serves it up for Luke Benson, tipped by Aline. Cougars get it back. Haynes, Benson, attack, collected by Rogers. Now Machado, Rogers, and it gets down on the far side. Patrick Rogers, what an effort. Ball State and BYU are tied at 11 here in set 2.
Rogers doing it all. He dug that ball out, got it set by someone, and got the kill. He's been playing super well this game. He has coming in tonight, he had 33 kills on the season and 16 digs.
And that time around, it goes to BYU just out of bounds on Ball State's end. And for Patrick Rogers so far on the day, that is his 5th kill, but still BYU a 12-11 lead.
Him and Tinashe going for a battle for kill winner tonight.
I mean, same with on the season for BYU, Luke Benson and Keone Thim.
That's right.
Taylon Jonathan Tafuga gives it over to Patrick Rogers. Savitsky Lynn gets sent back by the freshman Nico Hales. Freshman sensation makes it 13-11 BYU here in set 2.
Yeah, Hales is averaging almost a block per set. He's got 10 of them coming into tonight, and man, he stood up there tall, straight, and put it right back in BYU's side.
Jonathan Tafuga serves over for the Cougars. Machado sets up near side, and the Savitsky Lynn bounces back with a kill of his own. 12-13, Ball State cuts it to 1.
Yeah, Savitsky Lynn, the sophomore from Roscoe, Illinois. Also, another guy that does a lot for the Cardinals. He blocks pretty well, kills pretty well, and he's attacking .478 on the season coming into tonight, so pretty impressive from the sophomore.
Now Rajay Aline to serve it over for Ball State, and that will be an error on his part. Kind of shocking considering the hot start he got off to with 2 aces in that first set. But BYU, a 2-point advantage in set 2. Cardinals lead 1-0 on the day, though.
This is about the same time we had some back and forth last set. Let's see if we get it again.
Diving effort from Rogers. Aline with the tap, sent back by Thim. Cardinals have it back, though. T with the tip. Unable to go. Benson dives to get it. Thim over the edge, and Pitlock with the dig. Wow, sends it the other way. Thim blocked. Blocked by Braden Savitsky Wind. Ball State cuts it to 1. Can you feel the energy in Worthen?
What a play by Pitlock. He laid out his body for that dig. And then Savitsky Lynn, who just had the air a couple plays ago, comes back 2 blocks in a row. Man, those 2 guys really set up Ball State in that sequence. Beautiful play and beautiful show of offensive there.
Lucas Pitlock, you are ridiculous. What a dig. T the other way. It's Jackson Fife, the libero for BYU, who gets it. Thim gets it tipped the other way. Ball State does collect it. Savitsky Lynn blocked by Nico Hales, but it goes out of bounds. Ball State ties it up at 14. Look at the momentum they've got going.
Yeah, Savitsky Lynn is on a legendary run right now. 3 points in a row. He got blocked, but the ball got over the net and shot straight down after the Cougars made contact. Great play. And also, Ball State has been blocking Thim very well. He has not been seen so far in this set, really.
Indava Zocheva the other way for Ball State. Noah Haynes sets up on the 10-foot line. Thim blocked by Machado. Cardinals get it back the other way. Machado with a kill of his own out of bounds off of Jackson Fife. Ball State takes the lead.
Machado, known for his assist, but man, was that pure power. And like I said, I mentioned it before, Keone Thim got blocked yet again. And who was one of those guys blocking him? Machado, who proceeded to go right back his way once he saw him fall, get the kill. Cardinals got a 15-14 lead.
And that'll take us into a quick commercial break. We will be right back. You are listening to SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
We are back from Worthen Arena. The Ball State Cardinals lead 15-14 over BYU here in set 2, where the Cardinals lead 1-0 on the day. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by my partner Sam Klug. What a back and forth matchup we've had. Ball State just took their first lead of set 2, and Tinashe Ndavazocheva serves it over for Ball State. He's looking to continue that momentum. Goes across and goes too long, and BYU ties it back up at 15.
Yeah, again, service errors, something both teams probably want to clean up, especially near this halfway point in the match in set number 2, but let's see what happens. We're tied at 15.
Nico Hales on the serve, collected by Pitlock. Machado taps. Savitsky Lin, no good. Other side, Keone Thim, blocked by Machado. Point Ball State. They take the lead back, 16-15.
Man, blocking has been such a strong suit so far for the Cardinals. Now, they have 20 coming into tonight. They have a 26 on the season, which was 17.5 points better than their opponents. And they've blocked Keone Thim, I believe, 3 or 4 times in a row now.
Not the best day for Keone Thim, only 1 kill so far. Savitsky Lind, as Fife had to slide to get it. Tion Taylor the other way, off of Ndavazocheva. Cougars tie it back up at 16. Tion Taylor, great kill there. And the graduate student has had quite the career at BYU, but probably the best accomplishment for him was finding his wife at BYU. His wife, Abby Taylor, used to play for the women's team.
Yeah, he's hitting 1,000 so far today. 3 kills, 3 attempts.
And what an effort by Machado, who had to slide under the net, and that results in a BYU point, as you cannot slide under the net. But Lucas Machado, still a great effort. BYU 17, Ball State 16.
Yeah, I mean, that's his second time doing that. He's the only guy who's done it today. That just shows how much effort he gives. I mean, while the point doesn't go to them, he slid, and that's his second time doing that. So it's something I'm sure he does a lot in practice, too.
And now Noah Hain, we were talking about family there with Tion Taylor. How about the family he's got? It would take us about 5 minutes to tie up all of his volleyball ties in the family. But all you gotta know, his grandfather, the 1968 Olympic team captain, as he commits a service error that time around. Ball State ties it up at 17. His grandfather, team captain of the Olympic team for Team USA in 1968. His father, Mark, an All-American at San Diego State. His mother, he played at UCI. The list goes on and on. The other way around, Lucas Machado for Ball State, right to left. Benson pops it up. Now Hain pops it up. Jonathan Tafuga the other way, just gets past Machado for a BYU point.
Yeah, you're talking about family ties. BYU has a ton of them. 7 players have had family members graduate from BYU. 8 players have family members who played volleyball. 4 of those at BYU. So lots of ties to not only this team, but volleyball in general and the institution as a whole.
Keone Thim, and that's another error. That's his 3rd on the day. You just don't see that from Thim. And
you do not at all. I mean, Keone Thim known, we said we're going to keep saying this to you guys, but they're known for being a serving team. He has so many skills. His fundamentals are perfect, but tonight has not been his night, and I wonder if the Worthen effect is kind of getting to him.
We're tied at 18 in set 2. Rogers the other way to Benson. And T tries to send it back, but now Hain has it for BYU. Luke Benson the other way, far too long, but they give the point to BYU. It was tipped at the net by Ball State. Cougars have a 19-18 lead over the Cardinals in set 2. Again, BYU looking to tie it over Ball State here on the day. Cardinals lead 1-0, and into serve it'll be Ian Little for the 2nd time today after getting no action in the past couple of games and really all season.
Speaking of family, his sister Claire is on the women's volleyball team at BYU.
A lot of connections there, and that's an error on his part. Ball State ties it up at 19. And speaking of sisters, I mean, we see it all the time with the family aspect. Sean Olmstead, head coach, his sister coaches the women's team that he used to coach. And they were doing an interview with head coach Sean Olmstead earlier in the week, and he said that sometimes they confuse his sister, the women's coach, for his wife. And he likes to play along with it. He's like, yeah, that's my wife.
Man, people got to think like they look way too similar to be a husband and wife.
Maybe. Will Basilio sends it the other way for Ball State. Keone Thim gets it cleanly. Nico Hales the other way. What an effort by Basilio on the other end. Tee off of Hain. And they do give that to Ball State. High off of the body of Hain. Cardinals 20, Cougars 19. What a second set we are having.
Looks like there might have been some sort of error out of bounds on the Cougars right there. And man, to say Ball State is taking advantage of these errors or miscues by the BYU offense that's to say the least, because they're really taking advantage and getting points, and they've taken the lead now.
Will Basilio to serve for Ball State yet again. Haynes sets up for Hales and gets down. 2020, here we are, 2020 vision. And what I am projecting with this 2020 vision is we are having a heck of a match today, and we're going to have it for the rest of the weekend as they play tomorrow.
That's right, and going back to Hales, the man who just got the kill, he actually has a 1700 ranking on chess.com.
Jonathan Tafuga gets just short of Rogers, but he's able to dig it up. Tee the other way, Thim with it. Hain over to Benson, cross court, just sneaks in on the near side. What an effort by Luke Benson and the Cougars, 21-20. And man, I would hate to play Nico Hales in a chess match like you mentioned with that top 1700 chess score. Oh man, and that's a timeout called, and that is definitely needed for both teams. BYU with a 21-20 lead over Ball State here in the second set, where Ball State leads 1-0. And right now, Sam, in a matchup that has been so back and forth, how does one team even try and pull away?
Well, I think something I'm just reading here is feed Luke Benson, the senior outside hitter for BYU. I mean, against St. Thomas Aquinas, he had 8 kills. Guess how many he already has tonight? 8 kills, and we're in the second set. Now, they did sweep St. Thomas, but he's still a set away from, getting to the point where they got for St. Thomas. But, man, he's had such a productive night on the offensive side, and they lost the first set. They only got to 23 points, so he had 2 less points to obviously get more kills. He's played fantastic. He only has 1 error on the night. He's hitting .389, which is very good on the offensive side, and he has 9 points. So if I'm the BYU offense, I'm feeding him as much as possible, trying to get the offense going on some of these streaks they went on in the first set, and maybe something we saw Ball State go on in this set.
And right now, like you mentioned, 8 kills for Luke Benson on the day. Second on the team in kills per set, 4.3, right behind Keone Thim. Both of these guys, they're going to be battling all season. Obviously a friendly battle of having them both on the same team, battling for that kills leader on this BYU team. Right now, going into this game, Benson had 56, Thim had 61, Thim has 7 on the day, Benson has 8. Jonathan Tafuga for the Cougars going left to right as they lead 21-10 here in set 2. Puts some spin on it and sends it across, goes too long, Ball State and BYU tied at 21.
Yeah, service aces have not been on the side of Talon Jonathan Tafuga. That is his 3rd already today, and multiple people on their team have more than 1. Thim, also another guy with 3.
Rajay Aline serves it over for Ball State, goes high with it, and Keone Thim collects it. Hain sets it up for Luke Benson. The tap gets sent back by Machado. Now Hain with it again. Benson tipped, and Pitlock with it for the Cardinals. Patrick Rogers climbs the ladder and just drops down off of the deflection from Hales. Ball State takes a 22-21 lead here in set 2.
What a wild play right there. What kind of happened there for view, obviously our listeners can't really see. It's like when you box out in basketball and you box out so well, the ball just falls to the ground. It went straight up, the defense couldn't find it, and the volleyball just dropped straight to the ground. Point Cardinals.
Kill number 6 for Patrick Rogers on the day. Rajay Aline goes across with it for Ball State. Ricochets off the net, but BYU still with it. Keone Thim flies high, and it ricochets out of bounds on the far side on the tip. So BYU counters and makes it 22-22.
Yeah, Rajay Aline couldn't do anything there. He stood. He was like, what am I supposed to do? It's such a fast hit. Got tipped, obviously, at the net. Great kill there from Thim.
Luke Benson on the near side for BYU to serve. Rogers on his knees to get it. Far side, Aline tipped by Hales and dives to get it. Machado with the left hand, unable to get the kill. Benson off of the net, spiked hard. Noah Haynes sets up far side. Keone Thim tipped by Machado, and it gets down. What a point for BYU. What a possession, 23-22. So much happened there. It's hard to wrap your head around.
Oh my gosh, the start with Aline doing a dig, which you don't usually see him do. He dove for that ball, dug it out nicely, and great quick thinking there by the Cougars. Tapped it over quickly where no one was on the floor. That front line kind of got all jumbled around and kind of misplaced, and they capitalized on a little miscue by the Cardinals.
And it looks like the officials might be taking a look at something. I think they're looking at that very final moment to see if Ball State really did touch it at the net, because you got to review it. At this point in the matchup, you have to review it. When it's tied at 22 here in the second set, I think maybe they're trying to argue that Ball State did not touch it at the net when BYU got the point on the out-of-bounds play.
That's right. Going back to what you said about this, the match and the set as a whole, this set really decides what the rest of the match kind of looks like. Ball State wins it, they're in the driver's seat. They're one set away, from taking victory. However, if BYU wins it, it's like we're back to set one, first serve of the game. Reset, it's 0-0. You only got to win 2 sets. That kind of mindset for BYU, and it looks like they called it confirmed, no overturn. But if you're BYU, these next 2 points are some of the most important of the match as a whole.
Call confirmed, so it'll remain 23-22. BYU in front of Ball State in set 2. Luke Benson to serve for the Cougars. He looks to put BYU in the driver's seat of this set and looking to tie it with Ball State on the day. Sends it across, and he does the opposite. That's a service error. We're tied at 23.
Those service errors coming back to bite the Cougars, and in big moments. These are moments, like I said, these 2 points, essential. And now you got Mr. T back there, one of the best servers for the Cardinals, trying to take the lead.
And Davazocheva, 5 service aces going into this matchup. Here he goes, right to left. Benson on his knees to get it. Haynes sets up. Rogers with the tip, digs it out. Tap over from Basilio, back to the Cougars. Benson the other way, blocked by Rogers. Pitlack falling back to get it. And T with the kill, with the hammer, 24-23. Cardinals match point.
Mr. T came flying from nowhere in that back row. We got everybody on their feet. Man, first off, to start the play, what a dig by Pitlock to kind of start that volley as a whole. We went through some more progression. Man, when you see Mr. T fly in the air like that, that's a point for Ball State.
24-23, set 2. Ball State leads 1-0. We are getting ready for set point. 24-23. What, man, we saw 25-23 Ball State, and with the Cardinals now with this brief intermission, they'll serve it up, and man, this is about as close as it can get. And Sam, if you're BYU right now, there's a lot of pressure here. Both sets have been extremely close, and the fact that they can go down 2-0 here is just crazy. Just how do you put that behind you?
Yeah, honestly, I think you put it behind you by saying, I'm not too nervous about our team. I know we can win and get close in the sets. Like you said, both of the sets have been extremely, extremely close. And hey, if you pull this one out, you're back to tied. If you don't pull it out, just know that, well, you have the team, the depth to go another 3 sets and win all 3. But you also have the ability, like I said, you've been close in these sets. It's not like they're a team short of talent. They're the number 5 team in the nation for a reason.
It was funny, though, because going into this week, Ball State and BYU were flip-flopped at 5 and 6. And it'll be Davazocheva to serve it up. And that can turn away for sure. It dives to get it, unable to. Set point, Cardinals. and a whistle blown. They're going to take a look at this, but Ball State 25-23. Yeah, the official, yep, and looks like they're going to maybe confirm it for Ball State, but they're still taking a quick look at it, which I don't think there's anything to dispute at all. Ball State wins the set. They're up 2-0 now.
It looked really close from my angle, but when the other team reacts like they didn't get it, BYU kind of walking back toward the bench, kind of upset. You can almost tell that it was a point for Ball State, but we'll see. But man, a service ace in set point. What a play from Mr. T.
Tinashe Ndava-Zocheva, what a journey he's had, coming all the way from Zimbabwe, beginning his collegiate career at Weber International University. He was first team all MSC in his freshman year. It's his third year as a Cardinal, and the fact that he was able to make that jump as a freshman going from Weber International all the way to Ball State University, and what he's done here so far has been tremendous. 3.5 kills per set last year, preseason all MIVA this year, MIVA Offensive Player of the Week a couple of times last year. What he has done here, if we went off the resume, we would be here all night. Tinashe Ndava-Zocheva has had a heck of a career at Ball State so far.
Yeah, he lives and breathes Ball State volleyball. And honestly, that second game versus Stanford, he didn't have his best. I mean, he played all 3 sets, only 3 kills along with 3 errors. So he had a 0 attack percentage, not the best night for him. But tonight, 7 kills through 2 sets, only 1 error. He's hitting 375, and obviously he has an ace, what he just garnered to give. Hopefully, we don't know just yet. It is not confirmed, but presumably he just got another ace to give the Cardinals a second set.
Yeah, and that's the question. Will it stand? And from my vantage point, I don't like to be that guy that throws my opinion out there. I don't see how you can overturn that, because it was clear as day that Jackson Fife, the libero, was unable to come up with it. It hit the ground, but maybe they're looking for something else that maybe we just didn't see. They probably have a better vantage point than us. Actually, I know they have a better vantage point than us. So I wonder what they are looking at to confirm that. But nonetheless, Worthen Arena, they are hanging by a thread. Everybody on their feet waiting for the official word. And we are about to get it. Call is confirmed. Wait, no, they go back. BYU is still alive. What? Wow.
Now, I don't believe that is a point for BYU. I believe it's a replay of the set.
Yeah, replay of the set. 24-23, Ball State leads. But still, the fans, they got to get back into that mode. It is still set point. The Cardinals will just look to possibly do it again. Wow, the fans not happy. But here it is again. Tinashe Ndava-Zocheva to serve it up. Fans getting back in the stance, waving the arms. Ndava-Zocheva to serve it up for Ball State, looking to go up 2-0. Goes across, collected by Thim. Haynes sets up for Thim, goes across, and what a dig by T. Haynes back over. It's Keone Thim, two-hander. And where will it go? It goes to BYU as it went out of bounds on the far side on the block. 24-24, wow.
Another awfully close play, and man, the Ball State fans are not happy about that one. Super close to the line. Looks like it goes in their favor. Man, talk about these sets being tight. Oh my goodness. I mean, we had a 24-23 game set that presumed to be over, and we're right back to it.
Tyler Herget to serve for BYU in a 24-24 matchup. Pitlack receives for Ball State. Machado sets up for Aline. The tap, it's recovered by Herget. Hayne, Thim, blocked by Machado. Ball State, they lead 25-24. Now this is set point. The Cardinals with momentum in their favor, looking to go up 2-0. Braden Savitsky-Wind will serve for the Cardinals.
What a block by Machado. Man, he has been electric in that front row tonight. I mean, pretty much all season, and now there's a timeout by BYU. And again, once you get above that 24 mark, you got to win by 2. It's 25-24, so the Cardinals would need 1 more to win.
And right now, if you're head coach Donan Cruz, or if you're head coach Sean Olmstead, what are you telling your guys?
I think if you're Donan, you're telling your guys, take it 1 point at a time. We got a little ahead of ourselves. Obviously, it looked like we won the set, but don't let that get to your head, and it clearly hasn't as they've gone out to defend and get a point. And I think if you're Olmstead, hey, get back into that momentum of every point matters and play like your life depends on it. They survived right there. They proceeded to go and tie it up, but now they're in a bit of a hole. But again, you're not totally out of it. You got a really good squad. I mean, if you don't believe in your squad, why even playing the sport? So,
indeed, the team aspect of volleyball is huge. And just to put into perspective how huge this matchup is, number 6 Ball State, number 5 BYU, and Sean Olmstead's call with Ball State SportsLink earlier this week, he was very humble. He was saying straight up, hey, I voted us at number 6 in the weekly poll. I'm a part of the AVCA committee, just like Donan Cruz is, and I voted us at number 6 rather than number 5. He was shocked. BYU, they have a tough next 3 weeks. They got to travel to play UC Irvine, and just such a tough stretch. And to get it started with a win here would be huge, but Ball State looks to put it on ice. It is set point here in set 2. It'll be Xander Pink to serve it across. Crowd going wild for the senior Pink.
That's right, Xander, serving specialist here.
Here we go, Xander Pink looks to be the hero for Ball State. He goes across. Thim sets up for Hain. Now Benson the other way. Collected by T. Machado. Patrick Rogers, the tap. Diving effort by Benson. Keone Thim climbs the ladder off of T and out of play. We are tied at 25. Wow.
Man, incredible effort by T. Unfortunately, falling backwards. Gonna put the ball in a different direction, and it did. Out of reach of any other player. Man, great set so far. 25-25.
Here we go. Noah Hain for the Cougars going left to right to serve. Off of Patrick Rogers, now Machado. Rogers back with it. Blocked by Taylor, but out of bounds. Ball State gets the point, and now the Cardinals are back at set point, 26-25. And yeah, the crowd going wild yet again with the up and down hand motion. I saw you doing it earlier too. You're getting into it as well. There we go. Lucas Machado on the serve. Goes across with the left-handed serve into the crowd. Bam, what an effort on the near side. Benson the other way. And then goes out of bounds. Point to Ball State. Cardinals take set 2, but there's still a little bit of a dispute between the officials. One official said Ball State's direction, another said BYU, and now a discussion with Donan Cruz and the head official. Wow, I mean, there can't be anything without controversy in this set, it appears.
No, I mean, these officials haven't really been, and it looks like they have not been on the same page. Now they're calling it, I believe, BYU's point, and the crowd obviously not happy.
No, they are looking to possibly review it perhaps as both teams huddle up, and that is something you have to review as Ball State and BYU, that they are challenging it. Sean Olmstead using a challenge.
Correct, so call on the floor was point Ball State.
Yeah, so yeah, the question is, we don't have the review up, but the question is, will it be enough to overturn? That's always the question with any kind of review in any sport. And live in action, I mean, it's hard to really trace your mind back to it, but it's hard to tell which way it would go. And maybe it may be too close to call, which is just unfortunate for BYU.
It is, and I really trust Ball State's judgment back there. I mean, Mr. T, Tinashe Ndavazocheva, saw it coming, and he decided to let it go and fall. He didn't try and hit it back up so they could attack again. He thought it was going out of bounds. He's like, hey, that's a point, that's a set for my team. I'm going to take that, and if I were to trust any volleyball player here, it'd be Mr. T.
That is a great point. And now with both teams huddled up, you can just hear a pin drop in here other than the music. Everybody is on the edge of their seat awaiting for the official ruling on whether Ball State will be in the driver's seat and BYU will be in a hole, or if it will be a brand new ball game and we can be tied at 1. And like you mentioned earlier, so much changes with this one ruling here.
That's right. I mean, yeah, it's a 2-point difference. 27-25 as it stands. If the call is not, it's 26-26, anybody's game.
Here we go. And they give it to Ball State. Cardinals go up 2-0.
What? Wow, that was a crazy reaction from the crowd right there. Everybody going crazy. We got the student section. We got the cheer squad. Man, that is huge for Ball State. We talked before the show a little bit. We said we'd be surprised if there was any sweeps. I think we talked off stream about if any team really swept the other school just because how competitive it can be. But we saw it at Stanford, right? 2 sweeps, both team getting a win, and there's a chance Ball State can do it here. 25 more points.
Ball State 1 set away from sweeping BYU in a complete shocker. We will be right back after a quick intermission as we head into set 3. Ball State 2, BYU nothing. You are listening to SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
We are back here from Worthen Arena. Matchup of the week, matchup for, I don't even know what kind of time this is. Matchup of the century, perhaps. The Ball State Cardinals, number 6 in the nation, lead 2-0 going into set 3 over number 5 BYU. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Sam Klug. And what a crazy 2 sets we've had. Sure, you may look at the score right now and think, man, BYU, what is happening? But really, it's been back and forth. Ball State wins set 1, 25-23. And for BYU, so close yet so far in set 2. 2 official reviews that could have changed the game. Ball State wins 27-25 in set 2. And just going over the stats so far, the Cardinals have been elite. Rajay Aline, Tinashe Ndavazocheva, and Patrick Rogers, all with 7 kills each. But for you, Sam, what has been the biggest difference into why Ball State is having this 2-0 lead now?
Well, I think it goes really to their blocking. I mean, Ball State early on was not blocking very well. They weren't really totally in sync on offense, but man, have they blocked well. And they blocked one specific player very well. He said he's athletic, but maybe his height isn't using it. Maybe his height is causing a disadvantage, and that's Keone Thim. Now, they have Luke Benson, who is a little bit taller. I mean, he's 6'7". Keone is only 6 foot, and he has been a player who has been blocked so much, especially in that second set, really blocking. They really blocked him on pretty much all his attacks, and I think that's one thing that's definitely set the Cardinals, or did set the Cardinals up for success in that second set.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Keone Thim is a guy, he can get up high, but Ball State has met them there all the way around. And what we have talked about was that going into this, Ball State has been the blocking team. BYU has been the team with all the aces, but at the end of the day, Ball State, they've kind of won both of those battles. What do you think goes into that?
I think it goes into being prepared. I mean, you're in your home environment, maybe you're a little more prepared, ready to face this team. BYU might have a little bit of jet lag coming from Provo, which is, I believe, an hour behind, but who knows? Another interesting tidbit I just pulled from the stats. BYU has more kills right now, 29-28, but those errors that have kind of been costing them, 10 compared to Ball State's 8. Hitting percentage, Ball State out-hitting them at 303 compared to the Cougars' 288. Other than that, it's been pretty tight throughout the stats.
And right now, Ball State, set 3, 2-0 lead. Cardinals on the left side, BYU on the right. BYU in the black uniforms, Ball State in the white uniforms, and the Cardinals looking to shock the volleyball universe with a clean sweep over the Cougars.
That's right. Coming into this match, no one expected a clean sweep. And frankly, I don't think anybody expected the Cardinals and Stanford to do clean sweep, but opposite of each other. But volleyball is a very weird sport like that. Game of runs like basketball, you get on a hot streak like some of these teams have, maybe mini ones, man, there's no looking back. You can wipe the floor with the team if you get on that hot streak and your offense is connected, the chemistry is good, you guys are all on the same page.
And now here we are, set 3 with everything on the line. This crowd, a stacked crowd, many people filling up Worthen Arena here in Muncie, Indiana. This is about as good as it can get. BYU on the right side going right to left. Tyler Herget, the senior, to serve it up. He goes across with it and tee off of it into the crowd. Aline tries to save it on the Ball State bench, but to no avail. 1-0 BYU. Back-to-back sets where they take the first point.
Yeah, it's something common you see. Hey, if I was Ball State, I'd be like, that's good for us. But anyways, good serve, though, from the Cougars. Hit it well, had that nice spin on it, sent it out of bounds.
It'll be Herget again, and that time, not a good serve. That will be an error as it's short. Cardinals again tie it 1-1. Back-to-back sets where we start off 1-1. Patrick Rogers, the serve it away for Ball State, has 8 service aces going into this matchup. Rogers the other way with it with the right hand off of the libero Fife. Set up by Herget, and Ian Little, he just got his first kill of the season. Point BYU.
The sophomore from Temecula, California. Like you said, first kill of the year, the 6'5" sophomore. Probably going to be a guy BYU relies on later down the road, maybe next year, maybe the year after that.
He was on a 2-year mission trip. Keone Thim, and that's another service error. That's short. That's his 4th on the day. Very uncharacteristic of Keone Thim. 2-2. We are tied in the 3rd set where Ball State leads 2-0.
Very uncharacteristic. He's got 21 on the season.
Fife, he has to dive off of the Buckholz serve, and Buckholz had to dive off of the spike attempt, but it goes out of bounds into BYU's direction. 3-2 they lead. It'll be Tion Taylor to serve it up for the Cougars.
Speaking of Tion Taylor, he was the MPSF Defensive Player of the Week in Week 1.
Patrick Rogers sets it up for Machado. Other way to Aline. Set back by Luke Benson and Nico Hales. BYU getting a bit of momentum in their favor. They're in a hole, though, down 2-0. They lead 4-2 in set 3.
What a big block there from BYU. Something, like I said, need to do more of.
Taylor serves over the tee. Rajay Aline on the near side, another block, but this time it goes to Ball State as Hales got it out of bounds on the near side. 3 and 4 BYU out in front.
I think I've seen this multiple times in this game. It's where the Cardinals are blocked, but it falls down on the BYU side. Something BYU needs to do, finish the block, get the ball back over to Ball State side so it doesn't fall right down onto your side in your lap, and you're like, man, you blocked it, but you didn't finish it. You did the first half.
Gotta finish the job indeed. Rajay Aline for Ball State. Serves it over left to right. Keone Thim on one knee gets it. Off of a hop. Does he get it to fall? No, just out of play on the back line. Cardinals tie it up at 4.
Keone Thim, we've said it time and time again, he is not hitting, well, 8 airs. He's got a .077 attack percentage right now. Not his strongest night, and they need him right now, quite frankly.
Gotta be careful, though, what you say. You might end up on his TikTok. Rajay Aline the other way. That time, too long. That'll be a service error for Ball State. 5-4 BYU out in front. It'll be Ian Little to serve it away. He got his first kill of the season in his first appearance of the season earlier in set 3.
Speaking of his mission, he went to Arkansas Bensonville from 21 to 23.
Left-handed serve collected by Pitlack. Machado heaves it up. Rogers off of Little, back to Ball State. Pitlack, Machado back the other way. Machado with a little bit of trickery. Little left-handed serve. Pitlack with the dig. Aline over the tee. Here's the spike collected by Thim. Herget Little left-handed tap back to the Cougars. What a possession this has been. A free ball from Fife over to the Cardinals. T, other end, off of Little. Point Cardinals. 5-5. We're tied here in the third set.
Even though the Cardinals got the point there, I want to give a lot of credit to Ian Little. We haven't seen much of him at all really tonight or in the season. He had 2 amazing digs and almost a kill there, but man, what defense, but just better offense from the Cardinals.
Mr. T, Tinashe, and Dava Zocheva to serve for Ball State. 5-5. Here we are. Goes short, and you can tell it. You can tell he knew immediately.
That's right.
That was not going to go his way.
He tried to do a little trickery, tried to maybe hit a little short one, catch him off guard, and yeah, not his best effort, but that's all right. 6-5 Cougars.
Luke Benson now to serve for BYU going into this game. 7 aces. Goes high in the air. Machado serves it up for Savitsky. Lynn Hales juggles it. Herget. Now Thim with the attack, and Dava Zocheva has to stumble on the back line to get it. Rogers on a tap. Little collects. Herget, and the spike by Hales. Point BYU. 7-5. They lead in set number 3.
Yeah, great play by Hales. Quick reaction to jump up right there in the middle, spike it down in the middle. That middle area, a lot of times I've seen Keone Thim take advantage of it. Sometimes it gets very empty, an easy target for a lot of these guys. And
that's an error for Luke Benson on the serve. Cardinals back within 1, 7-6. And a substitution made. It'll be Vanis Buckholz coming in for the libero, Lucas Pitlock, as it will be for Ball State, Braden Savitsky-Lind, who will serve it up. You know, it's funny, very long last name, Braden, his Instagram name, Braden, long last name.
Yep, met him on at the Scramble Light one time. Really nice dude.
Perfect place to meet someone new. And
That's
Fife
true.
off of the dig goes out of bounds. Tried to free ball it over, but instead it goes into Ball State's direction. We're tied at 7.
There's another service ace for Savitsky-Lind. His first, I believe, on the season.
And he will look to replicate it here as he serves again. 7-7, here we go. Goes across and he does the opposite. That's a service error. 8-7 BYU with the lead in the third set, where the Cardinals lead 2-0 on the night.
They're gonna sit Savitsky-Lind for a little bit. Back in comes Pitlock, their libero.
As they go back on defense, Patrick Rogers gives to Machado, back the other way, gets down on the back line. Rogers with his 8th kill on the day. We're tied at 8.
Rogers did it all there. The dig got it set by Machado and the kill. What a play from the junior from Rutherford, New Jersey. If you didn't know this, fun fact, he started his career at St. Francis, Brooklyn, and was the NEC Freshman of the Year.
Herget serves it up near side for Thim, and they just sneaks in off of Indala Zocheva on the back line. Thim with the kill, 9-8 Cougars. And like you mentioned, yeah, fun fact that Patrick Rogers started off there. Not much of a fun fact for them, though. Losing a guy like Patrick Rogers, who just last week was MEVA Offensive Player of the Week in Week 1. 9-8, Tyler Herget serves up for the Cougars. Pitlack heaves it up for Machado. Rogers on the tap the other way. It's blocked, and it gives the point to BYU out of bounds on the near side. Looks like maybe there was no tip, and Rogers just missed the mark on that completely.
I think Rogers was trying to do one of those floaters in there, trying to catch the defense off by surprise, but didn't work out for him.
Herget the other way, 10-8 BYU out in front in set 3. Machado serves up near side, a lean blocked by Little. Point Cougars. Wow, Ian Little, have a day, my friend. 11-8.
Man, Ian Little coming off the bench, the spark of momentum for them. They're up by 3 now, one of the larger leads of the game. It's so nice having a guy who can come off your bench, give you those blocks, give you those digs, give you those kills that are so essential in being down 2-0.
Herget the other way. Pitlack on one knee. Machado. T. Blocked by Taylor. Cardinals juggle. Point Cougars.
You can see the momentum shifting here as Doning Cruz calls a timeout. But the Cougars are playing on another level that we haven't really seen in other sets before.
12-8 BYU in front here in the third set. We'll be right back. Ball State leads 2-0 on the day. You are listening to SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesuites.hamptonin.com. At munciesuites.hamptonin.com.
Back from Worthen Arena, set 3. Ball State leads 2-0 on the day, but as of now in set 3, BYU leads 12-8. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by my partner Sam Klug. What a match we've had. Tyler Herget will serve it across for the Cougars. He has come in for Noah Hain in these last couple of sets, which was kind of a shocker considering Noah Hain has been the main setter for BYU. Machado sets up across to Rogers, off of a juggle from Herget. It gets down, point Ball State, 12-9.
Yeah, going back to that Noah Hain reference, when you go to the assist for tonight, Hain with 26, the closest guy is his replacement, Herget with 4. Not a lot of assists coming from any other guy on the team.
Rogers the other way, left to right, collected by Thim. Set up, tap from Taylor. Machado, what a dig! T the other way to Aline. A tap, and it gets down. Rajay Aline with the kill. Cougars lead. They're going to say 13-9. They give the point to BYU. Donan Cruz is confused, as is all of us, really. I don't know how they give that to BYU.
I believe Aline maybe grabbed the ball, hung on to it, or went over the net too long. Tried to manipulate his kill attempt a little bit and goes against him.
Keone Thim, Rogers, Machado has to go towards the scorer's table to get it. Blocked by Little, Pitlack gets it back for Ball State. Davazocheva unable to sneak it on the far side line. It goes in BYU's direction, 14-9. And going back to that last play, I think Rajay touched the net. I think that is what really did it there. And that will happen when you have a high-flying 6'6" guy like Rajay Aline going up for a ball. 14-9 BYU. Keone Thim. He goes across with it and goes too long, and that will be a point for Ball State and a 5th error on the day for Keone Thim.
I wonder if that's something he realizes after today, and maybe he tries to work on in preparation for tomorrow. Well, where if the Cougars lose this match, they're going to need to take one of them tomorrow.
Fife. Now Thim, blocked by Ndavazocheva. He gets it back, though. He has to free ball it over to Patrick Rogers on Ball State's end. Ndavazocheva, hard spike, recovered by Thim. Herget, Benson, blocked away, out of bounds on the far side. So BYU does get the point off of the block. 15-10, Cougars out in front.
Great offensive stretch there by the Cougars right there. It all started with Tion Taylor having a monster block up front, led to them getting the ball back, sending it back up, and eventually led to a kill. That's where most of your points start, is on the defensive side.
Cardinals crowd up front. Machado and Davazocheva with the tap. What an effort by Tion Taylor. BYU keeps it alive. The dig from Taylor. Rajay Aline on the other end, sent back. Ball State with possession. They slow it down, and Davazocheva, Thim falling down, recovers for the Cougars. Luke Benson on a tap. Machado slides to get it. Ball State on the left end, and Davazocheva blocked by Hales. The setup for Rajay Aline for Ball State. Just gets past Little. He juggles it. Ball State gets the point. They trail 15-11 here in set 3. They lead 2-0 on the day.
Man, Ball State had BYU in a stronghold there. They couldn't get anything set up. They kept having to block, and that gave Ball State more and more chances to set up what they thought would be the best way to get a point. And it led to your Cardinals getting within 4 of BYU.
Yep, that's one of those sets where for me, you got to take a deep breath after all of that. Rajay Aline to serve it over for Ball State, left to right. They trail 15-11 here in set 3. Right-handed serve goes just too long over the head of Keone Thim. and the point goes to BYU. I do want to point something out, though. Great job by Keone Thim, knowing that was going right by him and ducking down so he couldn't even get close to touching it.
Yeah, we were talking about family earlier. He comes from a long line of people who have played volleyball. His grandfather, former Hawaii head coach.
And Mike Wilton, one of the greatest head coaches in men's volleyball history. Ian Little's serve goes on the back line out of play. Ball State cuts it down to 4. Keone, I mean, let's go back to the family.
Winningest head coach in Hawaii history.
Yeah, like we were mentioning it. And Keone, his grandpa and Sean Olmstead, the head coach, his grandpa and Sean Olmstead's dad, they were roommates in college at BYU. And on one knee, Keone Thim gets it. Sent back by Savitsky Lin from Benson. The point goes to the Cougars. And the other funny thing, too, with Keone is Keone's uncle. He was college roommates for 2 years, like we mentioned, with Sean Olmstead's father. His grandpa and Sean Olmstead's dad were teammates for the longest time. That's just crazy to me, the connections. As Keone was transferring, as we have a timeout here, he's transferring over from Hawaii over to BYU. A lot of the times, one school will reach out to the other. No, Keone reached out to BYU to continue that legacy for his 5th year.
That's right, and Olmstead said in a meeting with our SportsLink ESPN on-air guys that it wasn't this crazy story where, oh, we had to fight to get this recruit who obviously should have been highly sought after. We see the stats. Maybe not tonight. He's not on his A game, but we see the stats. We see how good Keone is. And he told him it wasn't really that much of a story where he had to fight to get this recruit to commit to BYU. That's the culture you want to build. You want to build a culture where players reach out to you and want to come to your program if you are willing enough to give them a spot.
Yeah, and the fact that you're going from one great program in Hawaii all the way to BYU, it says something. And Keone Thim, he will get a bit of revenge, if you want to call it that, in the next couple of weeks when Hawaii takes on BYU as a part of BYU's very tough next 3 weeks. But as of right now in set 3, BYU is just trying to stay alive. They lead 17-12 over Ball State. The Cardinals lead 2-0. BYU, despite having a big lead here in set 3, they are in a big hole right now.
They are indeed. I mean, Ball State needs to get back to the fundamentals. Get back to that streak where they're blocking well, serving well, doing everything right. Their offense seems to be a little out of sync, miscommunication, but there's no doubt Donan's going to get them straight.
Now Luke Benson sends it over for the Cougars. Rogers receives. Now Machado the other way to a lean, blocked by Thim, showing off the athleticism. 18-12 BYU. Wow.
That was one of the most insane blocks I've ever seen in a volleyball match in general. Keone Thim gets way up there. His feet were at the bottom part of the net.
Yeah, you just don't see that. It's like he's flying. Luke Benson serves. Machado hops it over to Savitsky Lin, who gets the easy kill. Nobody in the middle of the hardwood. 18-13. Ball State cuts it down to 5 here in set 3.
Great set and assist there by Machado. Had an attacker in front of him. Fakes the defense out by going behind him. And like I said, that middle part is always so open, and Ball State took advantage.
Now Braden Savitsky Lin for Ball State, left to right. Jackson Fife, he recovers. Near side Little, the hard spike, out of bounds on the baseline. Point Cardinals. Now they're getting momentum back. They've cut it down to 4.
Looks like we might have a review to see if Ball State tipped that kill by Ian Little, I believe.
I think that is exactly what we are getting. A quick talk, the officials, and now they're saying a tip. They give it to BYU. And that is, again, a call that you don't see overturned very often, but that time around, BYU, they didn't even have to really look at the monitor.
It looks like they may have asked a Ball State player, did you tip it? And if he was honest, good on him.
Wow, completely honest. You just don't see that, so good on him. Nico Hales other way. Patrick Rogers, now Machado, back to Rogers near side, collected by Little. Herget on the run, now Thim, too long on the kill attempt. Ball State, they do get the point back. 14-19, but still they're in a hole here in set 3.
That's right. 19-14, trying to close the gap. BYU's still 6 points away, but in order to get back in this and get the sweep, they need to get going.
Machado, left-handed serve, Benson with it. Taylor climbs the ladder and brings the hammer for BYU. They lead 20-14, just 5 away from getting themselves back into this matchup.
We talked about the athleticism of Keon Thim, but man, Tion Taylor can get up.
Tyler Herget for the Cougars on the far side. Rogers hops it over to Machado. T on the other way. What a dig from Jackson Fife, the libero. Thim, and look at that, pit lock, middle of the hardwood with the dig. Buckholes the other way, tapped it over. BYU in control, near side, blocked by Rogers, has to stumble to get it back. T over to Little, sets up, near side, Thim taps it over for Lucas Machado. Ball State recovers. Rajay Aline, far side, goes way too long on the backside. Cougars do get the point.
Ball State is looking to see if the Cougars tipped it.
Yeah, I think that is exactly what they were looking for. They do on the floor say 21-14 BYU, and a quick stoppage in play. And so far, no official review. As I'm looking up here on the big board, yeah, they're not getting anything out of that. BYU, it'll stand here. They do get the point. They are 4 points away from taking set 3, where they're down 2-0. Machado on the 10-foot line, over to Telon Taylor, and he taps it over. Cougars are now within 3.
Total mistake there by Lucas Machado. Looked like he was trying to set up for an attacker. It actually went over in the net after the Cardinals had only hit it twice. In volleyball, you get 3, why not use it? And then he sent it over right into the hands of the waiting attackers, and they spiked it right back in the Cardinals' nest.
And Ball State with a substitution for the first time today. Griffin Satterfield checks into the contest for the Cardinals. Right now, 22-14, BYU out in front. Momentum is a big thing, and if they can get that here as they're down 2-0 in a hole, they certainly can get themselves back into this one.
Yeah, Satterfield has 1 match played, 2 sets played. He's got 14 assists, 7 points a game.
Herget the other way for the Cougars, and it just sneaks in on the back line past Ball State. Nobody on the back row. Cougars now lead 23-14.
Now, I'm not one to speculate, but man, it seems like the Cardinals are getting ready for set 4. Not much life, and then bench looks pretty disappointed in how they've competed here in set 3.
Herget on the serve to Pitlock. Satterfield, he sets up near side. Rogers, tipped by Thim, collected by Fife the libero. Herget sets up far side. Little of the spike, gets past Pitlock. It'll be set point for BYU. They lead by 10 here in the 3rd set.
Ian Little, 3 kills on the day. Again, he had no action coming in today. Yeah, obviously he's one of the older sophomores on the team. He was a 2018 All-California Federation team.
And Herget, that will be an error on his end after having the ace earlier. So now Ball State, they kind of shortened the gap a little bit, but still they trail by 9 in the 3rd set, 24-15. Patrick Rogers for Ball State looking to will his team back into this set, or we will go to a 4th set. Set up Herget, Taylor the spike. We're going to a 4th set here in Worthen Arena. Ball State 2, BYU 1, where BYU, as both the first 2 sets were extremely close within 2, this time BYU ran away with it with a 10-point 3rd set win.
Tion Taylor not really known for being the guy who kills and finishes off the sets for the Cougars. He was that today, as we will go to a 4th set.
We'll be right back, folks. You're listening to SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesweets.hamptonin.com. At munciesweets.hamptonin.com.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Welcome back from Worthen Arena in a highly contested contest we have had so far. Ball State, number 6 in the nation, they lead 2-1 over the BYU Cougars, number 5 in the nation, going into this 4th set. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by my partner Sam Klug. What a matchup we've had on hand. The first 2 sets, super tight. Ball State wins 25-23. Ball State wins 27-25. But BYU in set 3 completely ran away with it. A 10-point win, 25-15 for them to take the 3rd set. And Ball State unable to get the clean sweep. We will be going to a 4th set. Cardinals on the right side, BYU on the left.
Yeah, something I think a lot of Ball State fans want to see is that dominant set that they didn't see versus Stanford, they haven't seen tonight, and obviously they saw it against Trine and Wabash, but those are not D1 opponents. So something they might want to look for to get that victory over number 5 BYU.
Now Lucas Machado will serve it over for Ball State, and man, what a day Lucas Machado has had overall. He has a kill and 2 digs. Just overall, not much more you can ask for the setter, Machado. And here we go. We are about to get started with some 4th set action. Machado to serve it up for the Cardinals, going right to left. The Ball State Cardinals look to take down BYU in a 4th set. Left-handed serve, and it ricochets off of the net, saved by Herget. Far side, Keone Thim back to tee. The setup from Machado, far side, Aline with the spike and kill. Cardinals lead 1-0 for the first time to start a set since the 1st set.
A huge start there for the Cardinals, and not only Cardinals, but also Rajay Aline. 9 kills on the day. He's hitting only .69, so not the best day for him. But that's a good start, got the momentum. It's only up from there.
Machado the other way with the left hand, them off of a bounce. Gets it far side, off of tee. Pitlack has to dive to get it, just unable to get there. That would have been probably the greatest dig I've ever seen in my life. But nonetheless, 1-1, we're tied to start off set number 4.
Yeah, great effort there by Pitlack. I mean, he dove after that. Obviously, it's a little nicer on that new Terraflex court, but still great effort.
Machado sets up cross court. Rogers blocked by Thim. Diving effort by T. Pitlack digs it up, but he's underneath the net, and BYU gets the point 2-1. They're on a 2-0 run after Ball State started off 1-0 here in set 4.
Another little miscommunication on the Ball State offensive side.
Yeah,
Nothing they can't handle.
Yeah, that's the 3rd time that's happened today where they've been underneath the net. Tyler Herget on the left side, falling back is Pitlack to dig it up. Advanis Buckholes climbs the ladder to get the kill. Tied up at 2 here in set 4.
Yeah, Buckholes only came in today with 6 kills. He's got 3 of his own today. That adds to 9 on the season. But a player who had 58 matches played in his career.
Patrick Rogers the other way. Fife just barely able to collect it. Benson goes too long with it, but they give the point to the Cougars. It may have been tipped. Yeah, it was tipped by the Cardinals at the net. Luke Benson, great effort. Now 3-2. It'll be Keone Thim to serve it over for BYU. A deep breath from Thim. And he gets ready as he's yet to have an ace on the day going into this matchup with 10 off of Pitlack. Set up by Machado and back over from Taylor to give the point to the Cougars. 4-2. What great net presence by Tion Taylor.
Yeah, no kidding. He saw that ball. That dig wasn't the best setup. It got super close to the net. He saw that, took advantage. That's just game awareness that you don't see in many players.
Keone Thim again looks to serve it over with his Cougars up 4-2. Goes across in the air. T free balls it over to Fife. Herget, Taylor, spike. What an effort by Pitlack to dig it up. And Davazocheva the other way. Herget sets up far side. Benson, diving effort by Rogers. Another one into the crowd. He kicks it out of play. Point for BYU. We saw Buckholz diving for a ball. We saw Rogers diving for a ball. Great effort plays everywhere, but nonetheless, BYU with the point.
That's right, and something I've seen both past these past two serves from Thim is the dig has gone back over the net. It's so powerful they haven't had the chance to set up for their offense.
Keone Thim for BYU goes across. Rogers has to fall back in order to get it. Far side, a lean, blocked by Benson. Cougars on a big run, 6-2 in the fourth set.
What a block by Benson, another guy who can just get straight up there, and another athletic play.
And that'll take us into a quick commercial break. We will be right back. Ball State trails 6-2 in the fourth set. They lead 2-1 on the day. You are listening to SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Welcome back to Worthen Arena, where the Ball State Cardinals, they lead 2-1 on the night, but here in the fourth set, they trail 6-2 to BYU. Keone Thim will serve it up for the Cougars, and what a great crowd we have on hand here in Muncie. This truly is the volleyball capital of the world, Sam.
It is. I mean, you see between the students, the band they bring out, the crowd, that people are interested.
Keone Thim, a deep breath. And he sends it over on the near side for BYU, left to right, and it just misses the net. Cardinals get the point, 3-6 off of the sixth service error on the day for Thim.
That might be the only way they can get points in this stretch right now. BYU has been so dominant that they haven't gotten anything other than that error.
Vanis Buckholz goes right to left for Ball State on the serve. Herget sets up Taylor. Hard spike on the near side. Just sneaks in and bounds on the hardwood. 7-3 BYU after the Tion Taylor kill. And on the day for Taylor, man, he's got 9 kills now.
Playing super well. Again, not the guy you're going to have your team leading kills, but playing extremely well.
Goes across. Rogers collects. Machado. Savitsky Lind off of Hergert's chest, but he recovers. Free balls it over to Pitlock. Machado sets up for Patrick Rogers, goes off the front of the net. Point goes to Ball BYU, I should say. 8-3. Cougars going on a long run. They want that fifth set badly.
They do, and just a reminder, the fifth set only goes to 15 points. By the way, BYU is playing. They could get to that in no time.
Indeed, they can. Tion Taylor, that'll be a service error, and just as you say that, Ball State cuts the BYU lead down to 4.
Again, the last two Ball State points have only been because of service errors. Their offense needs to get going, get set up, and act like they are the number 6 team in the country.
The freshman Ryan Lewis is in for Ball State to serve right to left. Goes across Stem on one knee to get it. Goes across Little, left-handed spike, back over Fife, Herget, far side, Benson, blocked by Machado, gets down. Cardinals with the point, 8-5 BYU lead. And for Ball State right now, with Ryan Lewis coming in to serve, a freshman getting an opportunity coming from Surprise, Arizona, where he was an Arizona All-Star, and he actually ended up winning the All-Star game MVP in that All-Star game. And he serves it up, and he serves it up again. Keone Thim off of his back foot. Near side Benson gets sent down. Thim with the attempt to dig it up, unable to do so. Cardinals are alive and well in the 4th set. They cut it down to 2.
Great block by the defense, sent it to a spot where BYU couldn't recover, and they're within 2 now. 4-0 run.
Ryan Lewis for Ball State takes a deep breath with the student section backing him, right behind him. Goes across just a tad bit too long. BYU gets some momentum back in their favor. 9-6 they lead.
Man, that is a service error, but Lewis has come in and given him kind of a spark on the serving side. That was a good serve, almost had it in.
Ian Little to serve it up for the Cougars. Left-handed serve goes across off of Rogers, but Savitsky Lynn recovers. T blocked by Benson, back to Lynn, dug up by Benson, wow. Rogers gives to Machado and taps it over for a Ball State point. What a recovery from the Cardinals. 3rd kill of the day for Lucas Machado, the setter, as it's a 9-7 BYU lead.
Wow, he's reinventing the way the offense plays. He's the setter. He's supposed to set it. He fakes out the entire Cougar defense. Instead of going up to set it, he jumps a little higher, spikes it right down in there. Something I think the Cardinals offense should do maybe a little more often.
Tinashe and Dava Zocheva for Ball State. Thim collects, and Hales gets it blocked up front and goes out of play on Ball State's end on the near side. So BYU does get the point. They lead 10-7 in the 4th set. And despite Ball State trailing by 3, they are getting positive momentum. Remember, Ball State can win the match in this 4th set. Luke Benson goes up with it on the serve. Pitlack has to dive to get it. Near side, tipped by Herget. Herget goes back with it to Thim. Machado gets a finger on it at the net. Hales blocked by Machado again. The question is, where will it go? No official ruling. They say BYU. The Ball State bench not happy with that, and Donan Cruz definitely not happy with that.
Looks like they interfered with the net, and I was going to say, BYU peppered that left side time and time again, finally breaking through, which we thought was for the Cardinals, goes the other way.
Yep, he touched the top of the net. Pitlack pops it up for Machado near side. Rogers tipped. Fife on the run, gets it on the far side. Herget, Little, rejected by Savitsky Lynn into the crowd. That'll be a point for the Cougars, though, as it went out of play. 12-9, 12-7, I should say, BYU here in set number 4.
Another play, that perfect execution by Savitsky Lynn on the blocking side, just hit the wrong part of his arm. Into the crowd it goes.
Luke Benson, another error for the Cougars. That will be his 5th on the day. So now 12-8, BYU has a 4-point lead in the 4th set, and Braden Savitsky Lynn will serve it up for the Cardinals, going right to left.
19 service errors on the day for the Cougars, and I kind of think of it like missed free throws. Think of all those points you could have. You subtract those.
And Lynn looks like that'll be a service error of his own. That one goes too long. So now BYU, 13-8, they lead over Ball State. They have had all the momentum going back to the beginning of set 3, and they continue that here in set 4, as it will be Nico Hales, the freshman, to serve it up for the Cougars.
Savitsky Lynn, not a guy who has service aces, and that showed. He's more of his stats are service errors.
Rogers over to Machado, back to him, tipped by Herget and out of play on the near side. So Ball State does end up getting the point. A 4-point deficit for the Cardinals, and there was a wet spot on the near side of the Terraflex court. Ian Little with the towel going to wipe it down. Could have been a little bit of room for caution there, but Ball State, they are able now to get back into this, down by 4. Machado, other way, left hand. Ricochets off the top of the net, but BYU continues the possession. Little, does it sneak in on the near side on the spike? It sure does. The crowd did not love that at all. It went off of the official's knee as well, and Ball State's bench not happy at all. Donan Cruz is going to challenge it.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I think if it did stay in, it was because it hit the official. The crowd does not like that call, but man, another one of these close calls on these lines that it's so hard to see, especially in a big arena like this. You have to give credit to the officials. They're doing their best, and I would say they've done a fairly good job of getting a lot of those calls right.
And now we're at a point where we've seen this, it was a lot in the second set, where we have, even though right now it could be either a 5-point game or it could be a 3-point game. These are truly game-changing decisions being made by these officials. Props to them for keeping their composure.
That's right. They're doing a great job. But going back to what you said about game-changing, this is the point in the earlier sets where Ball State kind of turned it around. Down early, kept it close, and then really made a run. If we're going to see anything we saw from set 3, BYU is about to go on a big run. This is an important time to not only keep it close, but also maybe take the lead for Ball State. Because, you know, if BYU runs away with a little bit too much, we're going to a set 5, and everybody's nerves get crazy high.
Yeah, that 5th set, the dreaded 5th set, and for both teams, it's especially dreaded, as the last time both teams went to a 5th set, it was their playoff eliminations last year. Ball State in the MIVA quarterfinal when they lost to Lindenwood. That went to a 5th set. And for BYU last year, they lost to number 6 USC in 5 sets in the MPSF quarterfinals as well. And the call will stand. Point goes to BYU. Wow.
Another reason Ball State really wants to win this, BYU leads the series all-time 11-2, and they're 1-3, I believe, at Worthen Arena. So a win here is only their 2nd win ever in this current stadium.
Tyler Herget left to right for the Cougars. Goes across. Pitlack has to dive for it. Near side, Rogers tipped at the net by Taylor. Thim digs it up. Little sent back by Buckholz. Cardinals cut it down to 4. 14-10 BYU in front, but Ball State getting the crowd back on their side. And Patrick Rogers will serve it over for the Cardinals.
Buckholz 8 blocks coming into this game. Man, fun fact, his dream job, to be a property manager.
Rogers right hand, and that'll be an error. Again, like you said, these are like missed free throws, and the mistakes just keep on adding up. And going into the errors for Ball State on the day, a total of 15 compared to BYU's 19. And now Keone Thim, a guy known for service aces, serves it up for the Cougars as they lead by 5. Machado heaves it up, near side T, the spike, does it sneak in? No, just too long. Point Cougars.
Man, ever so close there from the Cardinals. I don't know how much closer you can get. It looks like we have a timeout or a challenge, I'm not sure which one. But the Cardinals, speaking of those errors and those kills, they need to clean those up, as these are the moments that they need to get those points back. These are pressure moments. These are times where errors mean more than when they do in the beginning half of the game.
And at what point for Ball State, where you're down, you could be down 6 right here, as it looks like they're not going to take a look at it, it's just a timeout. You're down 6 right now. At what point do you get where it's like, hey, we were at one point up 2-0, this is now do or die?
I think if the Cougars extend the lead to either between 8 and 10, I think you get to a point like, hey, we're a much better team tonight. We need to get back to blocking well, playing as a team, and remembering what the beginning half of the game was like. They blocked well, they served well. They were doing everything that the Cougars do well, and BYU is not doing it well. So maybe to the Cardinals' advantage, but they just need a little bit of a reset. As I can see, Ryan Lewis trying to hype up his team, and as a freshman, that's something you want to see. Yeah, freshman going in there, not used to all this playing time. He's like, hey man, I know you guys are good. I've watched from the sidelines. I know you guys can do this. Let's get it going.
Cougars on the other end, looking to extend their 6-point lead here in set 4. Keone Thim He spins it up near side. Another service error. That's number 7 on the day for them. And that puts the Cardinals back into striking distance. They're within 5 here in set 4.
Yeah, something interesting about Keone Thim that, obviously, since our viewers are on radio, not TV, he spins the ball so high in the air on his serves.
Buckholz, Fife recovers. Near side, Benson popped up by Rogers. Now Machado near side. And does it sneak in for Basilio? It sure does. And off of a tip, they're going to give it to Will Basilio and the Cardinals. They cut it down to 4. And what a great treat for Will Basilio's family, driving all the way from Ontario to see that moment. And it looks like there will be a bit of a discussion with the officials. And Sean Olmstead, he wants the officials to take a look at this.
Yeah, and coming into this game, Basilio only had 9 kills on the year. Didn't have one on the 11th versus Stanford. But I think that whole offensive sequence started with that dig by, that dig by Patrick Rogers. I mean, he comes in this game 16, 1.45 a set. But, man, he dove on the ground, sacrifices his body, sets his team up perfectly. And if the review stands, the call stands, then it was worth it.
To shift gears a little bit, I do have to say we've provided a bit of insight onto Ball State men's volleyball, but there's no one that does it better than the show Setting the Standard on Ball State Sports Link. Check it out. Episode 1 is out now. It dropped this morning. You can check it out on YouTube or Instagram. Setting the Standard, the official follow doc of Ball State men's volleyball.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of creators and unprecedented access, man, there's nobody who does it better. I mean, the shots, the inside footage of practice, trips, man, it's great. And you don't see it a lot at the college level, maybe more in the professional level, whether that's the NFL or the MLB or the PGA Tour. But, man, it's super cool to see what these guys are outside of volleyball and not on the game court, maybe more on the practice court and how things work.
Yeah, and Donan Cruz, he didn't put it lightly. He wants a national championship. And a lot of coaches, they'll just say, hey, this team is special every year. But Donan Cruz, he said, I mean it. This year, this team is special. This Cardinals team has what it takes, and the call will stand. Ball State does get the point. Will Basilio gets the kill in front of his family. And Vanis Buckholz will go to serve it across for the Cardinals. They trail 16-12 here in set 4. Ball State a 2-1 lead on the day. Buckholz goes across right to left. Fife hops it over. Taylor. Now on the other side, Ryan Lewis blocked up front by Tion Taylor. Fife has to go on the near side. The little and goes off of the antenna, so the Cardinals get the point. Ball State, they have it within 3, and man, what an effort that was. You saw it right there. You cannot touch the antenna, and the Cardinals now within 3, and a timeout is called, which gives us the perfect time for a break. We'll be right back. You are listening to SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Worthen Arena is host to a very special volleyball match tonight where the Ball State Cardinals and BYU Cougars go at it. The Cardinals are down 16-13 now. With it is Ian Little on the near side. Just gets past the Cardinals' front line for another BYU point. It's 17-13. Ball State leads 2-1 on the day.
Ian Little, the sophomore, coming off the bench, has played extremely well.
Taylor on the far side, popped up Rogers, Machado near side, Basilio with it, collected by Thim. Tapped over by Hales, Cardinals reset, far side, Lewis, Thim slides to get that ball for BYU. Luke Benson over to Patrick Rogers on the back line. Rogers gets it back off of Machado, rejected, but Ball State back with it. Basilio back over to BYU's end. Cardinals continuing the long possession. Machado off the tap to Savitsky. Lind. Cardinals take advantage. 14-17, they trail in the fourth set.
Yeah, a little miscue there by BYU before they sent it back over. Little too far behind him of a set. Couldn't really get to it, just had to bump it over. That set up Ball State to go on the offense, and it's a 3-point game here in this match. Excuse me, in this set.
Braden Savitsky Lind. He goes across for Ball State, right to left. Herget sets up Keone Thim, and they give the point to BYU. Thim gets the kill, rising to the occasion yet again for his 13th kill on the day.
Yeah, Keone's really come alive since starting pretty slow now. He does still have a lot of errors, but he's played much better here in the second half of this game.
Ian Little for BYU, left-handed serve, and in between the legs of Ryan Lewis on a hop. Ball State gets the point. Great awareness by the freshman. Wow.
Not something you see every day in a volleyball game.
No, you saw right there, Ryan Lewis on that far side. The ball was coming his way. He jumps in the air to avoid that ball hitting him and going in BYU's direction. Wow.
What a heads-up play from the freshman.
Yeah, the freshman, you have to emphasize that. Will Basilio off of the net on the serve, but BYU continues the possession. Benson set back by Machado. Cardinals have the momentum rolling. They trail by 2 now in the fourth set, and Sean Olmstead wants to talk it over with his Cougars. Cardinals rallying here in Worthen.
Man, wow, what I've noticed about Machado is every time he gets a block, it's in a huge moment. He's sparking so much momentum into this team. We're within 2.
And talk about living for the clutch moment. You just don't see it with Lucas Machado for a setter that is just so diverse in his game. He's got 3 kills on the day, and the blocking numbers, obviously the assist numbers. What Machado has done for this Cardinals team, it is immense. And Ball State with a 2-1 lead on the day. Sam, if I'm being honest, I don't know if they're here without Lucas Machado.
That's true. He has 2 blocks on the day. He came into the match with 6, which he's averaging about half a block a set, which is pretty standard. But like I said before, they're coming at huge times. They're coming at times when they need to stop BYU's momentum. They need to get a point or 2 back, and he's delivered that today.
Machado coming all the way from Brazil. You see a lot of international talent on this BYU, on this Ball State team, I should say. And right now, it's paying dividends with what Machado has done. 18-16, BYU in front. Cardinals to serve it up. It's the Canadian, as we go about international talent, Will Basilio.
Yeah, a lot of international talent on this team. Talk about Miss Tanashi. You talk about Basilio, Rajay Aline. He's from Barbados. Man, all over the world.
Basilio on the back line. It just goes a bit too long into BYU's direction. So now they take a little bit of control back into this set. They lead 19-16 here in set number 4. Luke Benson will send it the other way for the Cougars. Spins it up, sends it the other way. Popped up by Basilio. Machado near side. Rogers, the attack too long. Point Cougars. And they're going to say no tip at the net, so 20-16, and the fans are signaling for a tip. I think Donan Cruz wants a tip, and they're going to take a look at this perhaps.
Man, when you get down to the wire in these volleyball games, lots of reviews, lots of questions, lots of challenges. I think it's fair to say, because Ball State has fought back hard. They're within 4. If this doesn't count, they're within 2. So we'll see, but man, it is not for the faint of heart to wait. These are tense moments, especially if you're a Ball State fan. You know, you don't want this to go to a 5th set.
If you're a fan of either team, really, because obviously if you're BYU, if you drop this set, it's over. A 5th set, really, it's anyone's game, and that's why if you're a Ball State fan, you really should be worried as the officials take a look at this one. Again, they're trying to dispute whether it was tipped at the net, and that is, with our net cam right there, that should be pretty simple to look at. and we'll see how quick this review is.
That's right. When it comes down to the fifth set, it's all about who gets off first. Really, that first point is so essential. And I don't know if we haven't seen it yet, obviously, this season for Ball State. But with how the game is trending, and if BYU were to win this fourth set, BYU is the hot team. Ball State's the cold team. Haven't been able to capitalize on a set since set 2. And both the sets they've lost, if they were to lose this one, both of them have been not super close throughout the set. There hasn't been that back and forth that we've seen. It's really just been them fighting back and trying to get back into that position of taking the set and eventually taking this game.
Yeah, coming out of that 5-minute intermission between sets 2 and 3, BYU, they have really come alive. And they ran away with set 3. Right now, they look to do it in set 4, but Ball State's still lingering, still hanging on. They want set 5, but I don't think most people in this building do not want it. But what about the people coming all the way from Provo, Utah? BYU, they did travel pretty well.
They did. I mean, yeah, you can see good amount of blue in the crowd. They get excited when there's a point, and obviously they want to come here and make it worth their money. So, hey, if they want to set 5, they're hoping very much so that this call goes in the favor of BYU.
And here is the official ruling. They give the point to BYU. The call is overturned. It actually will stand, I should say. Cougars keep it at 20-16. There was no tip at the net.
Man, disdain from the crowd, whether that's students, band, parents, other students, Muncie locals, man, nobody likes that call.
Luke Benson now for BYU, trying to pull away with the Cougars, trying to prevail into a 5th set. Benson pops it up. Machado off of his back foot. Lewis has the free ball on the other end for BYU. Keone Thim rises up. And Basilio off of his back leg. Rogers with a dig on the near side. Tapped up, Thim, blocked by Savitsky Lind. Cardinals have to free ball it over. Underneath the net goes Ryan Lewis. And that'll be a point for BYU.
Man, Ball State had it set up to go on the attack, and it was a slip. Looks like Savitsky Lind is a little shaken up.
Yeah, and they're pointing out a wet spot underneath the net right there.
Excuse me, Rogers is a little shaken up. Looks like that miscue on offense could have started from that wet spot, but man, gives BYU a 5-point lead in the set.
Yeah, Patrick Rogers taking a quick breather. It looks like he's getting that right knee taped up by a trainer. So, and that means that Rogers is going to walk back onto the hardwood and continue playing this match. And after the stoppage in play, BYU a 5-point advantage in the 4th set, trying to force a set number 5 that would come down to the wire.
If you're Ball State and you go to a set 5, you're like, we have to start with our right foot in front of the other. You have to start fast, play hard, and both these teams don't use a massive rotation, but these guys have to be tired. You're playing in one of the premier volleyball matches in the country.
Luke Benson for BYU. Pitlock pops it up for Machado. Near side, Rogers on the tap, gets down. Patrick Rogers, after getting taped up on the right knee, gets the Cardinals back into it. 21-17 BYU.
I think that knee's okay. Or, hey, it could be adrenaline, but man, Rogers looks great.
And Xander Pink will come to serve it up, and this crowd goes wild every time Xander Pink enters the contest. He did have an error the last time he came up to serve, though. Looks to change his fortunes on the day. Pink sends it across, gets it on the other end. Herget sets up far side. Thim rises to the occasion, but the question is, did he touch the net? No, he didn't. Point goes to BYU because you saw the net shake, and there was a bit of a pause by the officials, but nonetheless, BYU a 22-17 advantage here in the 4th set.
Closing time here, 3 more points away from a 5th set.
Nico Hales the other way for the Cougars. Machado sets up midcourt off of Benson, but BYU keeps it alive. Thim, diving effort by Basilio. Rogers taps it the other way. Attacking line, Little on the left side, off of Pitlack, out of bounds on the near side, Ball State's end. So the Cougars now lead 23-17.
I think something that's going really unnoticed here in this 4th set is BYU's ability to dig the ball. Ball State hasn't had as many chances to attack, but that's what is setting them up for the lead.
Nico Hales too long. Ball State, they do get another point to add on. They trail by 5, but now BYU, you're within 2, and you're within 2 of clinching a 5th set on the day, where that will go to 15. Ball State now looking to turn the tides as they trail by 5 now. Lucas Machado to serve it up for the Cardinals here in set number 4. Left-handed serve. Benson over to Herget. Popped up on the long side by Thim, goes too long, and they give it to BYU. It was tipped at the net. Basilio went diving for it for a reason. This will be set point for the Cougars.
Yeah, I mean, they've come out of that timeout or that review, been on fire. Taking the energy out of this room. You said it before, you can hear a pin drop.
Tyler Herget, other way. Too long it appears. Ball State still alive, 24-19.
Wow, they got lucky there. That was as close as you can get for a serve being in or out, and that's huge. Again, not a lot of energy right now. If they want to come back in this set, they need some of that.
And it makes you wonder, if you're on that back line, what do you do defensively in a situation like that? That time the Cardinals letting it breathe, and it paid off in the long run. Patrick Rogers to save it up with the student section right behind him. Goes across, Fife, Herget, far side, Little, tipped over, far side, goes out on the Cardinals, and we are going to a 5th set. BYU takes this one 25-19. What a comeback. Ball State at one point led 2-0, but here we are going to 15 points.
Yeah, what a comeback for the Cougars. Being down 2-0 early, you got to think like, man, we're going to come all the way to Muncie, Indiana to get swept in our first match. No, they've had the mindset of like, man, we can do this. We're in it, and I said this, I believe, after the first or second set. They have the skill to do it, and they just proved they did.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. You're listening to SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Welcome back to Worthen Arena for a do-or-die 5th set. The Ball State Cardinals, number 6 in the nation, They are tied with number 5, BYU. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Sam Klug. Cardinals led 2-0, and a comeback from BYU to take us to this do-or-die fifth set. First to 15, win by 2. The rules are simple.
Here we go. And I think you got to look out for which team is playing together. And that's something Ball State hasn't done these last 2 sets, and something BYU has done, whether it's digging the ball, getting good sets, being in good communication, not having these out-of-nowhere hits that are going to mess up your momentum at one knot.
And here we are now. This Ball State crowd, they're feeling the energy. We are feeling the energy. And I'm sure these BYU players, they're used to a lot here in Provo, Utah. But now in Muncie, kind of like a taste of home, but just not in the right way.
That's right. I mean, totally different atmospheres. Obviously, that's out west. This is more Midwestern. But one thing you'll find at both, great volleyball.
Tyler Herget left to right for BYU. Machado pops up near side. A lean tipped Little off of his back foot with the save for the Cougars. Benson blocked by Machado. Cardinals lead 1-0. They're 14 away from taking match 1 over BYU.
Yeah, one thing none of us have pointed out yet, Aline is in the game right now. But another one of their strong outside hitters, Tinashe, Mr. T, nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I saw him run to the locker room after that last set. Hopefully he's doing all right. Herget near side, sent down by Keone Thim, just gets the point off as it just reaches the middle of the hardwood past Lucas Pitlock of Ball State. We're knotted up at 1, and it'll be Keone Thim to serve it up for the Cougars. 1-1, set number 5. Takes a deep breath, spins it up. We're underway. Too long service error, number 8. It's costly. Ball State, they lead 2-1. And a substitution made. Lucas Pitlock subbed out for Cameron Gray at the libero position.
Yeah, he's in for the first time tonight. 28 matches played last year. Only has 6 digs this year.
Patrick Rogers across. Fife collects for BYU. Near side Little. And that goes off of Cameron Gray on the back line. And a point for the Cougars. Tied up at 2. And in comes Lucas Pitlock back in for Cameron Gray.
Yeah, that was quick. Don't know if it was just for one play or not. But they're back to more of an original starting lineup.
Tion Taylor far side for BYU, going left to right, serves it up. Near side, Basilio gets blocked up front, but out of bounds off of Little. Cardinals take a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, athletic director Jeff Mitchell just got up and got that ball, tossed it to the ball boy. He's getting excited, as so should the fans, man. 3-2, a thriller here.
Vanis Buckholes, right to left, popped up Thim. Herbert. Left side, Benson off of the chest of Patrick Rogers. That's a play Rogers wants back for sure. BYU ties it at 3.
Yeah, Rogers definitely wants that back. I mean, he's not the guy who's always digging it out or having the best, but receiving errors for him, that was his first of the game.
Yeah, it's a shocker because he leads the team in digs and digs per set. Little the other way. Rogers, Machado, and that's Savitsky Lynn coming up strong for the kill for Ball State. 4-3, back and forth we go.
Out of nowhere, but I like this pattern the Cardinals are in. They let up one, they come back with even more force, and Savitsky Lynn, his arm was almost back to his shoulder blades. I mean, man, he got some power on that hit.
Had he gone back a little bit further, that would have been illegal too. You have to think about that as well. Rajay Aline serves up for Ball State, right to left. Thim, Hergert, Hales, Cameron Gray with the dig. And Benson on the far end. They give it to Ball State. Cardinals 5-3, a 2-point advantage. Worthen has come unglued.
What a dig by Cameron Gray. How about sitting the whole game, 4 sets on the bench, and then coming in out of nowhere and digging that ball, giving your team a huge momentum spike to be up 2.
And the potential Gray has as a sophomore coming in for the graduate student Pitlock. The future is bright for Cameron Gray and the Cardinals. Rajay Aline with a 5-3 Ball State lead serves. Herget, Keone Thim off of Rogers' chest and out of play on the far side. They give it to BYU. Another costly mistake for Rogers.
Yeah, he has not had the best start in that back row in set number 5. But like you said, leads the team in digs and digs per set. So I'm sure the team is trusting him.
Luke Benson for the Cougars. Ricochets off the top of the net. Machado tries to go across, but it's too short. The setter trying to fool the Cougars yet again, but now we're tied at 5 here in the 5th set.
Yeah, Machado trying to get a little too cute there, trying to go simple, something that BYU was totally ready for and costed them.
Luke Benson, a deep breath in the first 5-set game for BYU since their elimination in the MPSF quarterfinals. Rajay Aline off the tap, dug up by Fife for the Cougars. Little, middle of the court, dug up by Pitlock. Aline unable to get there. The Cougars take a 6-5 lead.
Yeah, incredible effort there from the whole Cardinals team, but it still was not enough. Now that we've had a bunch of players diving, Rogers is going to be sure, as he was the guy who got a little banged up earlier, to wipe that down, make sure all the condensation is off the court, make sure these players are totally safe, because in volleyball, a lot of twisting, turning, diving, you want to be 100% safe.
And in a 5-set match, you know that sweat is pouring.
100%, and hey, we got more tomorrow. Same time, 7 p.m., ESPN Plus and SL Digital Radio.
Luke Benson, Rogers on the near side to Savitsky-Lin. Tapped over by Basilio, Fife with the dig for BYU. Luke Benson comes up strong, Rogers collects. Machado, far side, Aline, does it sneak in? No, just too long on the near side. Cougars on a run, 7-5 in set number 5.
4-0 run here. I said the momentum was with the Cardinals after that Cameron Gray dig. Man, it has totally flipped. Crowd not into it anymore. BYU feeling the momentum, and that's a Doan and Cruz timeout.
And a much-needed Doan and Cruz timeout. That'll take us into a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. You're listening to SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Welcome back as the Ball State Cardinals trail 7-5 to the BYU Cougars. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by my partner Sam Klug. And man, BYU in the 5th set, they are about 8 away from winning this matchup.
They've totally flipped the momentum. 4-0 run right now. Cardinals got off to an early lead, but man, they're trying to make as much noise as possible, but BYU has shifted it. A seismic shift, I'd say, into a way that, man, it's going to be hard for the Cardinals to really garner momentum, and emotions are probably all over the place right now.
It'll be Luke Benson across for BYU. Machado in the middle of the court, near side, popped up for Basilio. Cardinals get it back. Aline has to free ball it over on BYU's end. Far side, Keone Thim off of Pitlack, and they give it to the Cougars. Wow, 8-5. Looked like Pitlack didn't get there just in enough time, so BYU an 8-5 lead. And now that'll lead to an intermission. Both teams switching to opposite benches as we're at about the halfway point of this 5th set. 8-5 BYU, and man, this is about as tight as it can get, Sam.
Really is. I don't know if he'll play again, but Tinashe Ndazavucheva is back on the bench. Now, I don't know what that means for their offense or their defense. He doesn't seem to be getting ready to go on the floor, but we'll see. We'll see what Cruz has up his sleeve. 8-5, Cougars inching ever so closely to the comeback 3-2 set win.
Luke Benson going right to left for BYU as they switch spots in the 5th set. Rogers, Machado, left side. Basilio tries to tap it, but Hales gets control. Little, he tries to tap. Machado sends it back. Popped up, Ian Little goes way back on the back line. Cardinals within 2.
Great team playing right there. Everybody noticed that that hit was way, way too far. They noticed it, and look who's back, Cameron Gray. Can he provide a source or a spark of offense?
And the one thing I have noticed about Cameron Gray is just the overall energy he provides to this team. He had that crazy dig earlier, but also off of the court, what he has been doing. I saw it at Media Day. Cameron Gray was one of the more vocal guys. Him, Vanis Buckholz, so many great energy guys on this Cardinal team.
And I bet it all starts with where he comes from. His family, he has 4 biological siblings and 6 step siblings. So he grew up with a big family, probably loves both his family back home and his family with Ball State.
11 kids, man, that is something else. Basilio, his serve just goes too long and wide left into BYU's favor. 9-6 they lead. They are now within 6 points of winning this match.
Bench loving it right now. Energy is high on that side of the court.
Hales taps over to Rogers. Machado off of his back foot. Sent back over the Ball State's direction. Sent over to Rogers and blocked over. Cougars get the point. They lead by 4. And you can hear a little bit of boos from this Cardinal crowd as BYU, they're in the driver's seat. Timeout called. This is BYU's game to lose now. This is nuts.
This is nuts. I mean, after set, excuse me, after set 2, no one would have seen this coming. And you can tell a lot of the team are extremely frustrated, confused, probably don't know what has happened, why this has shifted so much. But you have to give credit where credit is due. BYU has had an incredible comeback.
And for Ball State at this point, obviously nothing set in stone. This match far from over as BYU leads 10-6 in the 5th set. Would you call this, if this ends up going in BYU's direction, would you call this a collapse on Ball State's end?
I think I would, especially how close the early parts of sets 3 and 4 were. Now, did BYU pull ahead in 11? Yes, but the inability, I should say, to not keep these sets close, whether it was set 3, 4, and maybe even 5, depending how it all shakes out. The inability to keep it close is really something I think as the team needs to work on because, again, set 1 and 2, they only won both of them by 2.
And now Ball State, they're the ones that have to rally now. Down by 4 in the 5th set after they led 2-0 in this match. And here we go, the Cardinals out of the timeout looking for some energy. It'll be Nico Hales for BYU to serve it across. Hales, the freshman, he has been so great for BYU in the early part of the season. Goes across with it, off of the net, Machado. And Savitsky Lynn just gets it to fall on the back line. Ball State now within 3, and it's baby steps at the end of the day, and that they're getting there.
It is indeed, and again, they're without probably their top offensive player, which is hard, not making excuses, obviously, for the team, but they need to rally. Who knows what the team as a whole is going through.
Braden Savitsky Lind goes across, and that is too long. That's a service error. BYU now within 4 points of winning this match.
Yes, service errors have been costing the team as a whole. 5 so far total.
That is what costs you at the end of the day. Tyler Herget for the Cougars, right to left. Basilio off of his one knee, and Thim up top gets the point for the Cougars. What great effort by the athletic Thim, meeting Buckholz at the net to send it down. They're within 3 now.
Wow, basically what happened on that play, jumped up, both of their hands connected on the ball, kind of like a blocked shot or jump ball in basketball.
If that was a joust. 12-7, BYU in front in the 5th set. Pitlock pops it up for Machado on Ball State's end. Buckholz tried to get the kill, couldn't do it. Little with the spike for the Cougars. Cardinals reset. Machado, a lean, near side, blocked by Thim, but out of bounds. That will go to the Cardinals. 12-8, BYU leads in the 5th set.
That's huge for Ball State, and they need to keep feeding Rajay Eileen. We've talked about this. He's their go-to now that Tinashe is out indefinitely. We haven't seen him on the court yet. He's out for probably the rest of this game, but they need to keep feeding Rajay.
Machado over to Fife. Here's the tap from Taylor and a bit of net interference. Taylor touching up on the top of the net. Ball State cuts it down to 3. And yeah, that is a big loss, not having Tinashe and Davazocheva. The encouraging thing is we head to a timeout called by Sean Olmstead. The encouraging thing is he is standing up on the bench, rallying the troops as he does, as you saw in episode 1 of Setting the Standard, presented by Ball State Sports Link, the incredibly talented Nate Locker and Tristan Floor producing that project. You can see how big of a piece Tinashe has been over the past 3 years for the Cardinals.
Oh, he really has, and the fact that he's done it all while coming from a foreign country that is a whole nother continent away. I can't imagine moving that far away from family, friends, the life you probably knew for almost your whole life, and to be that person that team kind of rallies around or finds it a lot of its identity in, as we see a lot of the BYU fans getting the team excited. Looks like their huddle super connected, super, a lot of enthusiasm on that side right now.
And they have a lot of reason to, but at the same time, this Ball State team, they have no quit in them. Again, I'm going to go back to Setting the Standard. The mindset this Cardinals team has that Donan Cruz has instilled in them, that's a championship mindset.
It is. No quit. They're a family. They stay together. Whatever is thrown their way, they're ready for. And, man, I wouldn't be surprised if this went more than 15 points.
Me either. I mean, if anything has been taught to us today, it's don't be surprised. Machado serves it for Ball State. Benson on the back line. They have to free ball it over. Gray unable to get the dig. What a blunder for the Cardinals. BYU on a free ball. They end up getting on the hardwood. They're within 2.
That describes these last 3 sets as a whole for the Cardinals. When a free ball goes over and you let it score, that's basically a best way to describe it. It's just simple things in the game of volleyball you cannot mess up, as the Cougars are 2 whole points away from the 3-set comeback.
And that was just a miscommunication. And now looks like we're going to have possibly another look at it as Sean Olmstead is talking with the official. And I think from what I saw from my vantage point, Cameron Gray was cheating off to the right. Nobody there on that left side. And Ian Little just going back behind him with the free ball. Cardinals, nothing they can do, just nobody there in that general vicinity.
No, and he saw it perfectly. He saw, hey, there's no one there. I'm going to go for it. And you get, when you try and get greedy like Gray did right there, cheat up a little, try and get an advantage. Team like BYU, 5th in the country, they're going to notice that, and they're going to take advantage.
But still, the energy is still unmatched in here, even though Ball State, they trail by 4 in the 5th set. BYU is within 2 of winning the entire match. Still, the energy is unmatched in Worthen Arena. The officials taking a look. I wonder what this could be about. There was really no challenge at the net. Again, I think you got to review anything you can in these final points in the 5th set.
They made the motion of tip. I don't know what, because the tip wouldn't decide anything really. I wonder if they're looking for either net interference, any other interference, whether it's below the net on the Cougar side of the offense, because whether or not Ball State or BYU tipped it, it would still, I believe, be the same result if Cameron Gray got a hand on that ball.
And now we have an official decision, it appears. Or maybe we don't. He's going back to the monitor. And how can you really blame the guy? Because we're at a point in this match right now where every call is a game-changing call. But here we go. It will go to the Cardinals. Ball State still in it. How about that?
Within 2 now, cuts down to a 12-10 matchup. Folks, I do not know what the call was, but man, they found enough evidence to overturn it, and that is huge. The fans just went insane. Everybody's starting to stand up. That is the momentum changer I believe the Cardinals needed.
That changes everything. 5th set, BYU leads 12-10. Lucas Machado to serve across for Ball State. The Cardinals looking for a comeback of their own. They once led 2-0. Now they're in a hole. They're 5 points away, though, from winning this match. BYU within 3. And Cameron Gray, the libero, definitely a sigh of relief on his end.
For sure. He felt like the worst person in the room a couple minutes ago, like he just let his team up by trying to cheat up a little, give him an advantage. But now, hey, whatever it was, it gave him the point. And now, for some reason, we still have an official talking to the sidelines. We don't know what it's about necessarily, but both teams are sitting here waiting.
Yeah, because again, I'm a little confused there. I think I honestly couldn't tell you what this could be about, but he is looking on BYU's end. You can see BYU, they kind of have a little student section of their own on the right side, right there, right now behind the Cougars bench.
They do. I mean, man, quite the travel experience.
And nothing changes. And Ball State within 2 now of BYU. They trail 12-10. It'll be Lucas Machado to serve. We're back underway. Left-handed serve. And it goes out of play on the near side. That changes everything. BYU takes a 13-10 lead.
Again, in these tight moments, you cannot have mistakes like that. Simple mistakes. It's like missing a free throw. We've gone back to that. Service errors have killed both teams. A lot of times in the early sets for BYU, service errors were their nightmare.
Keone Thim now, 13-10. BYU looking to get to set point, unable to do so. Service error, that's number 9 for him on the day. Ball State back within 2, and it'll be Patrick Rogers to serve it away.
Rough serving night for Keone Thim, but that is what the Cardinals needed. Both teams having trouble with service errors.
3 up front for the Cardinals, and Rogers sends it away, and that's an error on his part. BYU, this is set point. Not only set point, this is match point.
Wow, I'm actually stunned right now. 3 service errors in a row. Both teams combined for 3 in a row. Not something you see every day.
BYU doing their hand clap chant for match point. Set up, a lean. Does it get down? No, Thim saves it. Near side over. Pitlack with the game-saving dig, perhaps. A lean tapped over. Ball State still alive. They're within 2. Lucas Pitlack with the game-saving dig.
In comes Xander Pink. Again, he comes in as a serving specialist. Will this play be right for Donan Cruz? He brings a lot of momentum in, but not much success in pastimes when he has entered the floor.
Now Xander Pink to serve it away. He has 1 error on the day. Gets over, popped up, Herget, Benson, and Rogers falling back, and it goes out of play. What a comeback. The BYU Cougars take down Ball State in 5 sets after trailing 2-0. Muncie is stunned.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. I mean, they had a perfect lineup for a final defensive stand in that last attack, and the ball simply flew over the head of Patrick Rogers. He tried to dive for it, did not get it, and man, there's going to be a lot of conversations about being up 2-0, coming out in the 3rd set and just being totally silenced in those last 3 sets.
Yeah, I think, honestly, like going back to that last play, what if Rogers, here's the what if here, what if Rogers let that ball go? Who knows, maybe there was some interference at the net. You just don't know. And going into tomorrow, Ball State, how do you mentally recover and playing in a top 10 match the day after blowing a 2-0 lead? How do you recover from that?
I think you first take a look at the 2 first sets you played, Finn. You played very well. You beat them. One of them went over 25 points. You beat them. One of them you beat at 25 points. You take a look at what you did right. And then you take a look at how your team has affected from this match. I mean, you saw a bunch of guys play. Obviously, Tinashe, don't know his status, why he didn't play sets 4-5. That's a question mark for tomorrow that we'll answer another time. But also, just a bunch of other guys. I mean, Rogers looked like he got his knee banked up a little. Just a lot of questions to answer before you fully prepare for tomorrow. And I think you really have to take an inward look at what happened tonight, specifically in those last 3 sets.
The Cardiac Cougars come out on top, and they've got the fans here in support of them as the people of Muncie, Indiana file out. And just Sam, overall, going into tomorrow, Ball State, all the momentum's on BYU's side. This is such an important match, as right now they fall to 3-2. You do not want to go to 500, especially for a team that started 3-0. Do you think that pressure is there?
Oh, 100%. They're 1-1 versus the top 20 so far. A loss tomorrow, now they're 1-2. A loss tomorrow puts them at 1-3. Something that does not want to go on Donan's record for sure, or the team as a whole, because volleyball means a lot to this school. The pressure is there, but I think they can definitely handle it, and especially going back to those first 2 sets, they showed that they are there to compete with the top. It's not like they were slaughtered and swept all three sets. They're there. Few things need to go their way tomorrow, and only time will tell what happens.
Finally, Sam, my friend, any final words to the people of Muncie?
Tune in tomorrow, same time. We got round 2 of the Ball State Cardinals versus the Brigham Young Cougars. Going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a call. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Sam Klug. The Brigham Young Cougars come out victorious. Good night, Muncie.
Digital radio.